Hey everybody. Okay, so any second we're going to be live and you're going to be hearing me. It sounds like we are now live. Yes, awesome. So welcome to the Essentials Bundle. I'm here with Dan Blast. We're getting an early start. We've got about, what does it say on the counter, 45 minutes or so. And so at exactly 2 o'clock, we'll be getting started with the live stream. There's a poll for you guys to vote in. So if you'd like us to redo the script from last time, previously we just showed you a breakdown of it, but this time I'd be happy to do it step by step if that helps. And in the meantime, we're going to be hanging out answering questions. You're welcome to join us here. We're at the Vidyuu Essentials Master Bundle. And so I was going to show Dan this color mixer. And so if you're looking at a list of colors, having like, all of the, primary colors is great. But if you wanted something like a mix between these two, what this is supposed to do, and I'm about to go fix it. Well, I should go fix it maybe right now, but maybe later, is mixing these two together. And so you'd select red, and then you select a little bit of orange, and it would add the two together, and then you can mix them. And so what it does is have you used LERP before? Linear interpolation, LERP?
No, not
Okay.
yet.
And so what LERP does is it takes a value and another value and then finds the midpoint between them. And so if you think of colors being X, Y, Z, it finds the center between the two of them, but you have to convert the color value to a vector value. If that sounds complicated, no worries. There's actually a tutorial on this. It's called Lightsabers and Painting, and you can check that out for the how to do the colors. What we're doing instead to fix this, which I just haven't had time to do this week, is instead of using when object collides to get the color, we're going to use when trigger is entered. And so either I'm going to put a trigger on the tip of this, or I'm going to put a trigger on each one of these. I haven't decided yet. But yeah.
Gotcha. All right. That gives me some ideas.
Yeah. Oh. Well, welcome everybody who's already on the stream. Great to have you guys. Feel free to vote in the poll. It looks like we've got quite a few votes coming in. Thank you guys so much for that. Basically, we did the, if you didn't already hear, what we did was show you how we did the flower picker, where you collect it and you get a point and it gets added to the score. And so if you saw that and we're just kind of a little overwhelmed, I'll be happy to do it step by step. And it's based off your votes. So please vote in the poll. If you can't see the poll, you're welcome to just comment your vote. But otherwise, thank you guys so much. And you're welcome to come join us right now. We have a lot of slots available. We're at the Vidyuu Essentials Master Bundle. I'm going to be taking questions as I add people to the Essentials Bundle. So for a moment, Dan, I'm going to be standing still. And feel free to ask questions away, or you're welcome to bounce if you feel like you got it. But thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you. Thank you for all your sharing.
No problem. And of course, anybody in the stream who doesn't have the Essentials Bundle, please leave your Oculus username in the comments so that I can get you added. And so what I'm doing right now is just going through all of the posts, writing down names onto my phone, and then I'll be able to add everybody. So here we go. Normally I do this pretty much every day, but this week was so crazy at work. I only had I think this is the first time in 3 days. So apologies for the delay if you've been waiting. Excited to get you all added though. Joe 72199. 72199. I need Todd taken off as editor and put back on because I want this staff. So Joe, if you're watching, what you're going to do is import the world. If you're in edit mode, I can't see your photo, so I can't tell, but if you're in edit mode, you're seeing what could very well be, hey D, CD over there. Like people mess it up all the time. But when you import the world, you only import the published version of that world, not the one that you're seeing in edit mode. So definitely try that out. Happy to walk through that. If you are here, feel free to ask in the comments there. All right. Hey D, feel free to come around this side. I can't see you because there's a menu right there. Hey.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. So yeah, I'm just adding people to the Essentials Bundle, answering questions, hanging out. Great to have you. Great to have you indeed. Tier. Natty_34. So cool trick. You might be noticing that I'm talking to D in real time, and Dan and everybody else is going to be showing up. It turns out either the bug's been fixed, or what someone told me to do was start streaming before I opened Horizon Worlds, and that worked. So very excited to be able to talk to people in VR again, rather than
Yay,
trying
I
to
don't
make
have
gestures.
latency anymore.
Yeah, right? Oh my gosh. Information. Hey, look, there's somebody over there. Hello. Hello. I don't have a microphone, so it's not like I can cast my voice. I'm just like, hello over there. There should be like a feature where like if you raise your hand, your voice just goes further. It's like, I know you want to talk further. Here, I'll make it happen. That'd be kind of cool. All right. Yeah, these menus can take forever to load or freeze, as you're kind of seeing here. Hey, there we go. Guava Daba. Hey, there's another person walking in. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. I have a feeling most of you aren't coming from the stream. I know D definitely came from this stream. Appreciate you, D. But everybody else, I think, is just kind of wandering in, which is kind of funny. Oh, look at that guy's taking a selfie. That's awesome. Guava Dava. Quan B. Mac. I'm really bad at pronunciation as well, so if any of these are your names, I do apologize. Please feel free to correct me. I try my best, but it is sometimes quite difficult. Rock Crawler 4x4. Now I'm 90% sure I've already added you. I'll put you on the list again, just in case you accidentally got removed, but I'm like, sometimes people just post a selfie after they get added too. Hey, hello.
You're the world creator.
Oh my gosh, that's my name. Wait, is it? No, my name's Lakes.
Lakes? Oh, sorry.
What do you mean, wait, is it?
You make so many worlds. I'm a big fan of you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mike's never has fans.
How do you do it?
Only people who use his content.
I gave up everything and made this a priority. That's the truth.
As I always say, and this is
you...
trademark quote for me, he has way too much time on his hands.
So you can make money off of this?
No, not really. I mean, you can try, but no one's really making money. I mean, anyway, it's complicated. Jay Brinsick.
A lot of people try to.
Okay, now I'm 99.99% sure I've added you, Jay Bransick. We'll try again, but I'm hoping some of you guys end up watching this video so I can explain how to get, like, import the bundle. It seems like a lot of people don't quite understand how to get the assets, so I'll try to explain it as soon as I get done with this.
I sent you a friend request, Lake.
Oh, thank you. Quan B. Mac, we've already got you on the list.
That's one new friend.
Edward GP1.
Are you live?
Oh yes, we're live right now.
He is.
Welcome to the pre-live stream hangout with the live stream. Wait, what? We're like getting, that's scary. Like literally through my menu. At least you didn't kill Edward. Poor guy. He just wants an asset pack.
Can I have it?
Edward GP1.
Wait, no,
There's like 18 over there. Thank you.
I'm
hey Dalton, welcome.
I was watching to see what it like
doing very well
on the mainstream.
Well, I better pull up your live links.
Oh yeah.
Now what, D? I got 2 of these. Shoo, 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 shoo.
Oh,
You
so
can
scary.
make a lot of noise with those.
I really should turn down their volume, but they are so much fun.
I already know how to.
Oh, the poor people in the live stream. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Hello, Vova. Hello, Smurf. Great to have you guys. Feel free to vote in the poll.
Oh, in the live stream?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're famous.
Sure. Okay.
Well, not yet.
I'm like, don't do monetization. Just kidding. Oh my gosh. Okay, so got this all set up. We got our list of people. And since we got a lot of noise, I think I'm going to step off to the side over here. And I have like the secret spot that I go to. It's not very secret. Excuse me, door. Thank you. So this is one of my favorite new... Honestly, I don't know why I like this one so much. Yeah, hi. Okay, so if I go to the
I said bye.
3rd floor and jump over here, then call the elevator, I can jump onto this elevator and nobody can get to me. I'm in this like super secret spot. Yeah. Dalton, you can come up. I don't bite.
That's what you think.
Great to have you, by the way. I think you can hear me.
Yep.
Good.
Wait.
Oh no, they found me. They found me. It's a zombie apocalypse. I must hide. Fortunately, I built myself a private escape room here. There's no need to escape. They can't find me. Damn, that really didn't work. Oh man. Okay, so what we're trying to do is add people to this essentials bundle. And I have several secret spots in this world actually. And obviously you're finding them all right now, so I'm not sure how secret they are. But like that, we are good to go. So I built this tree
Wait,
so
what?
I could hide myself inside of it. You'll notice there's a secondary part here that hides my name tag. Pretty sweet, huh? Well, yes, thank you. And hi again, Vova. Great to have you guys. So to reiterate the poll, so last time in this first part, we were looking at the script and I broke it down. And so in this one, we can redo it again and show you step by step how to make it. So if you were watching that first one and kind of curious how we made the flower picker and made it reset to its original position, as well as, excuse me, as well as adding points for the player, happy to show that again. So please feel free to vote yes. It looks like 90% have said yes so far. So we're pretty confident we're going to be doing that. So thank you guys, 10 people for voting. That's amazing. And I purposely did not vote because I didn't want to skew it. And yeah.
I know where you live
Oh no.
in this tree.
All right, so we're searching for the Vidyuu Essentials bundle. Okay, so for those of you who have not imported the Essentials bundle before, first thing you need to know is you're going to get added as a collaborator. You're then going to get, it'll be on the Create tab under Collaboration Invites. You'll then accept that invite, and you're going to see one of these Vidyuu Essentials bundles. Then you'll click on the eye icon from inside of a empty world. So you're going to want to create a new world and go to the eye icon, and then there's a 3-dot icon right here, which allows you to import the world. Once you've imported it, you are importing the published version of the world, which means if somebody's messed up the edit mode, you don't need to worry. In fact, you really don't actually ever have to go to edit mode unless you're just checking out to see what the new updates are. Like in here, I'm still working on getting this paint update out. This week was just way, way busier than I ever expected. And there's a couple other updates in here I want to get out, like the lightsabers. So those will be coming soon. I'd like to get those in today. We'll see what happens. So yeah, now we're going to go ahead and click Manage Collaborators. Now this has been broken for me quite often, so we'll see if it works. Hey Hartnell, welcome. I'm up in the tree. You're welcome to come up here and ask questions. I was just hiding from the kids, to be honest. No offense to the kids that are listening. Anyway.
Okay. I was just looking for like the text markup.
Oh yeah, so I moved that over to the education area. And it's the giant white pillow over there. And I actually added a sprite index that you can now see which sprite is which number, which is pretty cool.
Ah,
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. All right, so we're still waiting for this Manage Collaborator page to load. I'm kind of expecting it's not going
it
to
never
work.
loads.
Oh, I know. It's always so broken for me. So devs, if you're watching, this is what it looks like when it breaks. But of course, there is 400 and something collaborators. So shout out to all of you who've already been added to the Essentials bundle. Not to mention there's actually 4 copies of the Essentials bundle. So seriously, it's kind of crazy. And they're just copies. So if you're wondering if there's multiple versions, no, they're all the same. Each one is identical. I have to duplicate it, but it's because of this loading thing that I have to make more copies. I have been trying to make the primary one have everybody on it. So it's definitely got the most. And I'm just hoping, fingers crossed, that they will fix the bugs with the collaborators. So that way it works. Okay, we're going to head on over here. See if anybody has questions about this stuff. Got Dalton and Hartnell. Hey, y'all. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Just hanging out here, answering your questions. I am, yeah. We're doing a live Q&A, and then we're going to follow it in about...
Hey, Mom.
Yeah, say hi to your mom. Or my mom, one or the other. And so in half an hour, we're going to be starting the Flower Picker Part 2, where we're going to go explore the next steps of Flower Picker. And it looks like we're actually going to redo the beginning part so we can see step by step how to make the initial grab a flower, get a point system. So very excited to do that. And let's see. If you guys have questions in the live stream, feel free to post here. That's okay. You don't need to go into Horizon. You're good. Oh, that's so funny. Okay. Yeah, so here's that text markup for y'all who have not seen this yet. It is fabulous. Great information here. Definitely take a screenshot, save that, pause, whatever you need to do. Awesome stuff here. Feel free to stop by also and take a photo. And then you got the emojis up there with the reference for which number is which is also very cool. Okay, we're going to try this manage collaborators again. Wish me luck.
It's not gonna work.
Hey. It hasn't red screened yet, so I'm not
Never
worried.
does.
Let's see.
This is awesome, by the way.
Oh yeah, thank you.
This is a lifesaver.
Yeah, I wish it was easier to get like data in like that one over there. That took so long to put in. I'd like to put in some more graphs like that, but oh my goodness, they are time consumer. Dun, 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 dun.
Bye, Mom.
Bye,
Bye,
Harnell. It's too funny. Okay, so we're still waiting on this. I'm gonna try one of the other bundles since that one's not working. So what is this one? This is dun, 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 the third copy. All right. Can we get this one to load? Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Like, to be honest though, this loading, oh look, we did it. This loading time thing definitely holds me back from adding people more frequently. I mean, it took us what, five or so minutes to get this page open. Hello. Okay, so now I'm gonna go to my cell phone where I have all the names, and let's get y'all added. And again, if you guys haven't been added, you can comment your username in your Oculus username in the, I forgot my password. There we go. Yeah, and the live stream comments, so feel free to do that. First one up is Kid Max, double D, double X.
I'll never tell.
There we go. Invite. Oh. Hey, Bobo. You want to mute the stream so we don't get the feedback?
Hey.
Welcome.
Welcome.
All right, one down. Next up is Varun
Hey, D4.
Sharma.
I remember
Varun
that you
Sharma.
said that
Hopefully I didn't butcher
I
that as
know
well.
where you live. Come. Since you said where Lex lives, you probably live in 949 West High Ridge Street.
What? I live in Horizon, in case anybody wants to know. You can send my mail to P.O. Box Horizon. Just kidding.
Horizon_.mail.
I would love to get mail in here. That'd be so much fun. Oh no, not my email. My email is just full of junk. OJ. Welcome OJ to
Make
the
a new
Essentials Bundle. OJ with a 0 invite as editor.
Hey, D4.
Next up we have Joe. 72199.
Hey, D. Could you give me that gun? Could you
No.
give me that stick?
Saggy Tier, welcome to the Essentials Bundle. There we go. Maybe? I saw your name. It disappeared on me. It's
Hey.
backspace. Saggy.
I'm gonna give you this
I saw there was 2.
block over here.
Like, your avatar is a spitting image of you.
I try really hard. I do. I really do. I even have started spiking my hair in the real world just so I look a little more like my avatar since I added this new spiky thing going on. So like, you can't see it in the stream because I got
can't
this.
really tell.
Aw. All right, next up, Natty. Welcome.
That might just be because the headset is kind of pushing your hair down, though.
It is, right? You guys
are
wanna
using the
mute
default
the
strap.
stream, Bobo? Otherwise, I'm gonna mute you.
Mine is
I'm
muted.
sorry.
Alright. Where's the thing that you mute yourself? Where's the thing?
On your wrist, maybe? There's a few options. Invite it. Are we... I don't know if he knows how to mute himself.
Audio feedback.
Okay.
84.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and mute you, Bobo. I'm sorry.
Wanna become
No, I'm good.
And
I have a very messy friends list that I need to fix later.
the only problem is I just realized that by clicking that, I have... Oh, am I back? Oh, but I still have to wait for the loading bar. Come on, loading bar. Come on, loading bar. We're all going to do the loading bar chant. Oh, World Citizen 001. I added you a couple days ago, actually. So this... I'll show you again. I'll show you again because I know a lot of people have been wanting to know how to get this, and I definitely want to make it as clear as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how you can get access in just 1 second. I'm
Clear
almost
as
done.
possible. Just like these windows.
As those windows are not very clear. Let's be honest. All right.
That's not my fault.
Quan B. Mac.
You know what?
welcome
No,
to
just like the
Essentials
walls on that. Just like. Please don't. Just like the walls on that shooting area.
All right, Quan B. Mac. Yeah, those walls are actually pretty clear. I will make it that clear, so you can't see it. You'll walk right into them. Rock Crawler.
That-
Welcome.
You won't see it coming.
I might try adding World Citizen one more time just in case, like he accidentally removed himself or something. Ray of Sunshine.
I can hear myself through the mic through his mic. It's weird.
I know, isn't that weird? That's why I had to mute him. Excuse my cough. Apologies. I've been eating these gummy bears and they give me this awful cough. Ray of Sunshine 2021. Welcome to the Essentials Bundle. All right. 3 more left.
Eating gummy bears?
I'm a gummy. Just don't get that stuck in my head again. It took me
Okay,
all day to
go
get that out of my head. I'm not even kidding. Like literally since 5 a.m.
Well,
this
it's cool.
morning.
We're doing a watch party type thing for a play that we did a while ago.
Hmm.
I am bringing an entire cereal box full of sour gummy worms.
So let me get this straight. You can't bring candy, so you're just like, I got cereal, guys, and then you like filled it with
No,
candy.
I can bring candy. I can bring candy as long as it's sealed, which is why I haven't opened it.
Ah, got it. Okay.
They came in the cereal box, just to clarify.
I kind of just like imagine you going to the to the movie theater and you're like, look, I can't have candy. I brought my Cheerios. Just let it pass. They're like, okay, whatever. And you like bring a bowl and your milk. And they're like, no, it's weird, right? But whatever. And then you like get in and you've like got just tons of candy spewing out. You're like, everybody free candy. You're like throwing it across the movie theater. You're like, welcome to 2022. We can finally go back to the movies. Maybe that's just me though. All right, World Citizen. I'm
I
adding
kind
you
of want to
again.
do that now.
Right? Although, let's be honest, don't do that to movie theaters. They don't make any money off of movies. It's awful. Poor movie theaters.
Well, no, like I would actually bring like a bowl of Cheerios though, like an actual.
You're like, no, I wouldn't bring the candy, just the Cheerios. Maybe some string so I could like give out beaded rings or, you know? Oh my gosh, that's too funny. Okay,
I have a series of text messages on my phone that are basically just me saying I do anything for a Cheerio because I was really hungry.
All right, so I just wanted to do this for World Citizen real quick. So on your Create tab, you're going to see this collaboration invite section. When you click over here, you're going to see something like, oh, look, I have one here I haven't accepted yet. You click the info icon, and then after hitting that, you can click accept. After you've hit accept, it'll end up over here in your My World section. It might be really far down, so you might need to search for it using the search icon here. You can search for Vidyuu. And then you're going to see one of these 4 bundles, Vidyuu Essentials Bundle, Copy 2, Copy 3, or Copy 4. And all 4 of those are the exact same, so don't need to worry about that. You can then hit, excuse me, the eye icon. And then from the 3-dot icon, you can then import the world. But this only works when you're inside of an empty world or your world. Because the Essentials Bundle is below the world, I often do import the Essentials Bundle into my world, but I try to start every world with the Essentials Bundle in it, just so I can like, kickstart my world, make it a lot faster. And so I usually start in an empty world, import the Essentials Bundle first thing, and then the thing you need to note is that it imports the published version of the world. So if somebody's in there like editing it, deleting stuff, don't worry about that. I clear it out multiple times a month, and you're only importing the published version, so whatever they're doing doesn't actually matter. So there you go. If you have any questions, please let me know. Cool. Yeah, and if you don't get access, you can also DM me at LakeSo5. So feel free to do that as well. We have, what does it say? 20 minutes left on the
Please mute
countdown.
stream
Very nice.
on your device.
We are getting very close. All right.
There's 20 minutes on the countdown.
Whew, yeah, 20 minutes till we go live. Although we're kind of already live, so I don't even know. Like, 20 minutes till what? 20 minutes till we actually start. So that gives you guys 20 minutes to vote in the poll. Hey, Mr. Glitch, welcome, welcome.
I feel like I am the one person who voted no.
Actually, 3 people have voted no so far. 12 votes, so great voting time. Or 2 votes, maybe? Hard to tell. But either way, great job. Got a question?
I got a question for you.
Great job
Please.
voting no.
So on the do you know anything about the competition yet?
No, a little bit.
On the rules?
Yeah, a little bit. I was actually going to make
Okay,
an announcement
so-
today, but yeah, continue.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure it out. Nobody's messaging me back, so
Yeah.
I can't get no info. But so what about the essential bundle for everybody? Is that available to use for the competition, or has that been no?
Okay, so it's very unclear. So my first, oh, I hate this. I was going to do this at the beginning of this live stream in 20 minutes, but I'll do it now. For all of you who are here right now, here we go. So 2 weeks ago or whenever, somebody asked the same question, and they were like, you can use stuff as long as you get permission from the world creators, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, cool, well, I'll give everybody permission. And I've been giving everybody permission for 2 weeks. Well, then the same guy who asked that question 2 weeks ago asked again. I don't know why, but he asked again, and they changed it. And they were like, well, you can't use the Video Essentials bundle because it's already been published, and you can't use assets from published worlds. I'm just like, there's no other way to share assets other than publishing the world. Otherwise, it literally corrupts the assets and you get space junk and all that stuff. So I was like, I don't know what to do. I mean, this isn't
I
a
can corrupt
world,
assets.
but it's published. And so they specifically said, no, you cannot use the Video Essentials bundle. But I really, really hope they change their mind on that, because a lot of people already have. It's a great starter pack to get you started. It's not really a world. I mean, it's not like you could submit this world. Someone did, though. Someone actually already did submit this world as their competition entry. Anyway, point is, I wish, but don't. But then the other thing I was going to say, which is why I'm just kind of like, ugh. So last year, I spent the entire competition telling people, yes, make sure your video is only 1 minute long, because they had said 2 minutes, and then they backstated it back to 1 minute. And then at the very end, they were like, yeah, it's fine. We'll accept 2 minutes. And so I'm like half expecting at the last week, they're gonna be like, yeah, it's fine. Use the bundles, whatever. It's fine. So I would say don't do it, but I'm kind of expecting they're going to change their opinion. And it's kind of frustrating because everybody uses bundles to get their stuff started. I mean, not everybody, but like most creators. So
Would it be fun if someone else imported it to a world and then
No.
that person imported it to their world?
I would say don't import anything in
Amazing.
case they're looking at like import logs. I don't know if they are or not, but I'd say don't import anything.
Yeah, last time
Be careful.
Casey said they didn't allow imports.
My son clicked on your stream.
That's too funny. So yeah, anyway.
He's watching Mickey Mouse, then he decided to watch Vidyuu.
I wouldn't do it. I would
Things
start
are
from
very
scratch.
Similar.
Part of the reason we're doing
They're
these
both
live
capital.
streams is
Right
because
on. I was just
so many of these assets I built just when I had some free time, and that was nice. But you guys were just using the assets, and I didn't have tutorials for it because I just didn't have time to create tutorials for everything in here.
Going back to what I said, way too much time on his hands.
Well, no, I just don't have enough time is the problem. And so streaming is a way that I can show you me building these assets or whatever it is I'm working on. You get to learn if you want to watch the whole stream. It doesn't have to be edited, which is nice. But what I really love is the community engagement, getting these comments here. So maybe they could learn from the Essentials bundle and recreate. Yeah, that does help, Pat. I totally agree. And I've seen a lot of people doing that, which is great. I just know there's a ton of people who don't know how to script in the slightest, and they just use, the script itself. They'll attach it, right? And so I don't disagree. I really want people to learn, but I also know that scripting is this huge wall that stops a lot of people. And the fact that they're like putting this wall up really is stopping a lot of people from having that kind of benefit to their worlds. Like, you could build an amazing space, but adding edible watermelon to your spring hangout might be what puts it over the edge for the person who's judging, and that requires zero scripting knowledge. Whereas if you had to try and recreate the edibles, I mean, you could. There's a tutorial and there's the thing here, but I think for many people that's a little too much to ask. Anyway, I don't disagree, Pat. I hope people do that. I just think it is unfortunately putting a wall up for a lot of creators who could otherwise make really nice interactive worlds. Is there any way to make yourself invisible in a script?
Yeah, and
That is a question. I'll answer that 1 second. Yes, Mr. Glitch.
I was just saying, like that was one of the questions that I've had and other people's been having is whether or not specifically using the objects that you've built,
Just
but
using the scripts,
that you've built.
I know part of me is like,
Mhm.
oh man,
So that-
I'm a terrible person. I will admit it. I'm like the type of person who's like, we can Google the answer, right? Like, why wouldn't we Google the answer in the real world? The real world is full of tools, that we can use. But then you have like school assignments, or in this case, a competition. And so I'm the type of person to be like, well, I got this tool. I could go write the script for it. But then the thing is, and I've had this happen in school, is you get disqualified for doing that. So I wouldn't recommend it if you're serious about your entry. Just try to take the time. I mean, it could be hours and hours of struggling. I've spent easily 10 plus hours on a single script before, especially when I was starting out. So expect that when you're working on one of these, but even just adding one little interactive element
What do
is
you
going to really
suggest
take
if I'm
your...
not being serious?
If you're not being serious, feel free. Go use the Essentials bundle. Don't tell anybody to use the scripts, and don't take this as legal advice, because you're probably going to get disqualified. Welcome. Oh, you've been here forever. Welcome, new person. I don't know your name yet. Hey, Guava Dava. Thank you so much for coming. I just added you to the Essentials bundle. So great to have you.
Thank you.
So I wanted to answer Unknown Chaos's question about making yourself invisible with a script. I think this is a really cool question. It's not possible yet, at least not in a simple way. If you wouldn't mind not shooting that, D, it's just a little loud. Thank you. And so what you could do is say, you see our name tags here? That's what represents a player. Like if you wanted a player to be invisible, what would that look like? Well, it would look like a name tag that's floating around the world, right? Like as you're moving around, you'd have this invisible name tag. And so what you could do is build a space below the world, make an attachable name tag, attach the attachable, and teleport the player below themselves. And so you have just this, world that's exactly the same floor plan. And then you've got a floating name tag above the world that represents where the player is hiding below the world. And if you make that block below the world non-collidable, so say we were walking on a invisible collidable object right here. So this is invisible collidable that we're walking on that's really thin. And then below us is this giant green cube that's, at least a person thick. And then below that is an additional floor. Then the person would be able to see up through the floor and see what's above them. So you can make a really cool horror game where like the person's invisible. It doesn't have to be a horror game, but I could imagine this easily in a horror game where the, murderer is walking around. You can see their name tag, but they're completely invisible. And then they've got like, I think this was something that actually does work inside of Murder, the new one, Hide and Seek 4 by Euphoria, is you can teleport with it. He's got a teleporter attached. And so you click your trigger and wherever you're pointing, you could teleport up into the ceiling, into the attic, or you can teleport down into the basement. It's like really cool. So you could imagine having a feature like that.
The A and B buttons.
Yeah. So I think that would be a really cool.
The A button.
Let me know if that answers your question, Chaos. Unfortunately, I don't have time to show you how we do that today. It is a relatively complex topic, but the idea is fairly simple, right? It's an attachable name tag that you attach when you want the person to go invisible. So that way it's above the player, and then you teleport them below the ground. So I'm not sure if there's another question, but feel free to keep asking the questions in the comments. We're going to go live in 15 or 11 minutes now. Guava, did you have a question? Thanks for coming.
I just happened to flick onto the YouTube video and I thought, is this live? I could actually be there in real life.
Yeah.
and here I am. So it's like way cool.
Yeah,
and
so great.
I know I'm just at the beginning of my journey to learn.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, so I just added you to the Essentials bundle. And so now that you've been added, you'll find that under your collaboration invites. Do you see that there?
Yep.
Awesome. And then once you accept that, when you're in an empty world or your worlds, you can import that. I highly recommend importing it into an empty world, deleting everything you don't want, and then importing that new world. And you can name it something like, these are my tree assets, these are my elevator assets, or whatever it is that you're planning to import into your world.
One question I do have for you, you had a bundle with just recorders, like boom boxes. Was that yours?
Possibly not. I do have a few options for music. So I'll show you what I've got, and then you can tell me if this is what you're thinking of.
Sure. Okay.
Bum, 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 bum. Oh, look at there's the music. We better turn that off before we get demonetized. You never know. Sometimes music in Horizon is not authorized on YouTube. Okay, so here we are. This is one boombox, and this one's pretty cool.
Right.
It has a play and stop button. It does not work when you're holding on to it, which is pretty cool. There's a whole bunch of audio recorders right here that are invisible, and there's a script running on each of those audio blocks, those music blocks, that ties back into this.
Okay.
And so that allows you to add a bunch of Horizon-based music. So this one is really designed for Horizon-based music. It's not really designed for like importing your own music. For importing, we have these records over here, and
Right.
no, to be
Lakes' sick mix.
Lakes is 6 mix. Yeah. Hey, this is track number 2, which means it's, and we have a pause button on it. We have a play button. Honestly, this is really cool. It's not designed. This is the first track. Okay. Grab these so nobody touches them. And we'll hide those in
Is
there.
it limited to the 30 seconds as well?
Yeah. So, well, okay. That's a big question. You're like, that's not a big question. It depends on how I have to answer it. So if you wouldn't mind stopping that, please. Thank you. So, okay. First of all, the first thing I want to say is I don't really recommend importing music. Horizon knows that we want music imported. I suspect, my personal opinion is they're going to bring in some sort of like video player, like Facebook Watch player, that would allow us to watch music videos, and that will be the way that they officially bring music in. So I don't recommend using this. You know, it is going to make it so your world can't get featured. It's going to potentially mean all sorts of other problems. You also have to figure out importing, which is extremely complex and something I've never actually done because of how difficult it is to do. But if you're interested in that, this record has 3 tracks on it, and you can have as many on here as you want. And so my understanding is if you slow your recordings down, so you'd speed your recordings up. So you take the audio, multiply it by 3, you get 1.5 minutes per recording block. So you play it at 30 seconds, and then you slow it down to 33% speed. And so you could theoretically have up to about 1 hour and 20 minutes is my understanding of music in Horizon. So theoretically you could put 1 hour and 20 minutes on one record player here, or you could have, 10 record players, or that would be 8 record players with 10 minutes each, right? So there's definitely some options there. You could put like an out or a few songs on each if you wanted. Totally cool to do that. This one is the one that you'd want to use. And so have you ever zoomed in and out of an object before?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so yeah, then you just zoom in and out of this.
Mix. Okay.
Yeah, so you'd zoom in and out of this to edit it. You don't want to ungroup this because there's so many properties to make this work. This is the first track. It's like you just really want to update those sound recorders, and you can duplicate them and then change the number, and that's how you update it. Many step back.
Excellent. Thank you so much
That's how
for
you
all
zoom
that
into
help.
objects.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciated.
Absolutely. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Cool. So I should probably keep track of the time. We're at 8 minutes out from starting. So great to have all of you guys here hanging out early. Last 8 minutes to vote in the poll. And so again, the poll is basically last time when we were streaming, we built a flower picker. And so you grabbed the flower, it respawned back to its original spot. Each player got a point on the leaderboard. And it was basically a, grab as many flowers as fast as you can sort of game. And that was just the basic first element. Let's make something that's, clicky, catchy, fun. And the funny thing about it is I streamed for an hour before I realized that I forgot to hit the go live button. And so I had to start and I just broke down the script rather than showing it. So the poll right now is voting if you would like to see it step by step. And because of the new rule about, the no using assets in the competition, I would actually show it including the respawn tutorial. So previously when I did it, which you didn't see, is I had duplicated the respawn script from the basic section and then use that as the basis for my script. I do that all the time in my worlds, and it's a great way to get started very quickly.
It's a great way to not have to spend too much time.
Welcome, Bobby. Wow, really love your hair. Oh yes, you are also a green.
Familiar.
Are we the same green? We have the same green. Nice. If you press your A and B button, you can actually change your color. And so every person has a color based off the name of the length of their name.
Like, I'm not the same green as you do as you.
You have 5 characters in your name, and we have LAX. 5. Oh, you have one extra character. Interesting. So yeah, let's compare our greens. I want to see if I pull my green out, you can just re-grab it. Re-grab it. Let go of your saber and grab it again.
What? What?
Let go of your lightsaber. Let go with both hands. Click
Yep, and then try grabbing it.
grip.
So grab.
Click.
Let go of it
Just try
totally
picking
like
this one
this,
up.
and then grab it. Once you let go of the lightsaber, so click one time with your middle finger. There you go. And then when you grab it again, it resets the color. And so this is my color saber. So if you want to grab yours and grab another one, we're just gonna see. So grab one of these. Because your name is one extra letter than mine. And so D's is one less than mine. And so you can see is that really a slight fade? Or are we the same? I can't tell. So press your index trigger again.
It's a little different. It's a little different. Yours is darker than yours.
And then pull your index
Yep.
trigger. There it goes. Huh. Can't really tell.
Oh wow.
Those are
It's
the
like-
same.
One,
gotta,
2, 3,
like-
4,
like-
5, 6, 7.
You can see
1,
the
2, 3,
difference
4.
between mine and yours if you turn on the night mode, or the warm colors mode.
Oh, interesting. And that's weird. I don't have to relook at that script because for some reason it's not as dramatic as I thought it would be. Take the color, divide it by 20. Gives you 20 different shades. Normally you have red. Let's count with my fingers. Red, green, blue,
I
orange.
forget how different
yellow,
worlds
purple,
work when you
6.
don't have.
I guess there would be 4 shades of green. Yeah. I guess that makes sense. So there's
Can
4.
you do a mirror in here? You can't
No,
do-
Yes.
but you can vote for it. So a mirror.
We need mirrors. We need specifically the one in the personal.
So if you
Yeah,
were
like that
crazy,
one.
The
if
one
you were
that's a
crazy,
billboard, kind
you
of.
could take a ray cast and fire it at a player and then dot like this, like really fast, and you could draw a player out. I do not recommend doing that, but people have. They have done mirrors like that. It's it's tacky, it's fun. But the mirror that's in the personal space,
Because
totally
it's one in
agree.
venues, right? When you go into venues,
Yeah, we really want that. That's what we
you
want.
can see your avatar.
And so you can go to, I'll actually show you, there's a link over here. Well, link. Is that Oculus 410? Oh my gosh, this guy's famous.
Oh my god, no way.
Whoa,
It's
I can't
Oculus
believe I'm seeing him
410.
in real life. Oh, it's amazing.
This is definitely
y'all?
real life.
All right, we're going over here. All right, so I was just telling these people,
Welcome to real life.
Oculus, about horizonworlds.uservoice.com. And so Bobby was asking
My
about
favorite
getting a
site.
mirror. I know, this website's amazing. And so on this website, horizonworlds.uservoice.com, you can actually vote for features that you want. And one of the feature suggestions on there is a personal space like mirror for us to add to our worlds. I really want one, so I
Okay.
voted for it. Encourage you to do the same.
Go vote.
We need
And,
a mirror Gizmo.
okay.
For everybody else, so they can vote, I'm going to quickly comment this into the chat. Give me 2 seconds to do that. Let's go. Horizon Worlds, Command A, Command C, and back, and Command V. Okay, so that's going to be in the chat for you guys to go look at. You can go vote for any features that you guys are interested. Highly recommend. Yeah, definitely.
You think
you,
they're ever
Trisha.
going to let us bring in like a web
Ultram's coming.
browser?
Ultram's coming.
or
Ultram's coming. I gotta go.
YouTube
Welcome,
or
Ultram.
No way.
I think,
Hola amigos, ¿cómo está?
Todo bien, todo bien. Sten.
I think it's just a matter of time,
Leaving
right?
me
Like,
hanging.
I can't hear you, Vova, because you never muted the mic, and so I put you on mute, dude. I'm sorry. So anyway, the
I think he did. I think he did mute the stream because.
Oh, he
My
did?
Wi-Fi
Okay.
is acting up.
I'll unmute you, but I do need you to be relatively quiet, Vova, when I'm talking. I just want to
Please, Luis.
let you know that in advance, because we will have to pull to remove you if not. Okay, unmuting. Okay, so the thing that I was saying is that, I mean, it seems like a no-brainer, like long-term, but in the short term, everything in Horizon is from Horizon. It's all, I'm getting some crazy lag all of a sudden. There
A
we go.
closed universe.
Yeah, it's a closed universe, right? Like nothing in here has been imported. Even the time over there, you have to manually set your time. So
Mhm.
I think long-term in a decade, for sure, it's going to be everywhere. It's like, but the thing about 2D surf, excuse me, sorry, some little gummy bear burps.
He gets worked up over this topic. Gets
I
him really.
do. I get really excited. I'm really excited
It's
for the future.
emotional.
but I do think that it's way too early to expect it. I think it's a great time to start requesting it, but you got to expect it's going to take multiple years for that to go through. Like, yes, we want to do that. Okay, now let's start assigning people to do that. Okay, now let's go talk to legal about how that could potentially cause so many problems. Like, oh, now you go to a website, now you go to a world, it's not a website, right? And it's just a porn pop-up world. Like, let's be honest, that's people get abused really easily. And so it's going to take years to figure out how do they circumvent this? How do they put in, like, you know, is there 18 plus? Is that even a thing? Like right now, this whole place is supposed to be, there's not even supposed to be alcohol here. There's not supposed to be
You got 20
smoking
seconds.
here. Oh, are we almost out of time? You guys, it's 2:00. Okay, thanks, D. Welcome. It is time to get started. I appreciate everybody coming in. We're going to give you guys 2 minutes
Started what?
to vote on the poll. We have pretty much an overwhelming vote for yes, which means we're going to show you step by step how we're going to be creating a flower picker. You can watch on the youtube.com/Vidyuu page. So I'm like, Elsham, you know where this is. So the
You said you have 20 seconds to do something.
oh yeah, we're live right now. We've been live this whole time actually. And
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so what we're doing.
Hola, amigos.
¿Cómo está? You're supposed to say bien, and I say yeah, and then anyways, we're supposed to have a conversation there, and then we stop because I can only go so far. I try to keep pushing myself, but I really appreciate our Spanish and Latin American community that's being built up. If you guys haven't heard about that, check it out. Oculus, do you have a place that they can check that out in? Like, quick shout out to our Latin American friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you check out on Facebook. It's Los Amigos de Horizon Worlds. Check it out on Facebook. That's run by Zandria Hart, Pigeon 12, Doc JC, myself, and you can find out all about the Latin American community, the Spanish-speaking community, and we're hoping to build up the Portuguese-speaking community as well. So if you're interested, please contact one of us or join the group.
Yeah, sweet. Love that quick shout out. So what I did want to get to though real quick is this poll. You guys have only a few seconds left to vote in it. Basically, last time when we were streaming, we did a breakdown of the flower picker asset, and this time we are going to remake it. Now, I do apologize. There's only 4 slots in build mode, so we're going to have Oculos, Galactic Victoria, and myself. Everybody else is going to have to watch from the stream. You're welcome to open the stream up, head into build mode with us right now, and try to follow along. I'd be more than happy to literally like stop, pause, and reiterate if you guys are following along in build mode and having questions. So feel free to go open up an empty world right now so you can follow along as we're building this. And yeah, super excited. And then let's see what else we got. I'm sorry, Bova. It's just often you will talk over us, and we can't have that when we're streaming. Okay, but great to have you in the stream. So thank you for hanging out there. All right.
Where are you streaming this?
This is on youtube.com/Vidyuu, which is Vidyuu, and we have the link right.
Is that the
There it is. So yeah, and yeah, so we're gonna get headed into build mode. I did want to start with a couple like prefaces here.
Vidyuu. I'm gonna go over there. Okay.
When I started building this world, I started it with an empty world. And then I imported the essentials bundle, like I always do, literally every single time. And I told you last time I was going to get disqualified because I was doing it on a live stream, because you're not supposed to show your work off before the stream's published. I mean, it's some fine print in the legal. Who knows what that means, because you're supposed to publish your world beforehand. Anyway, I just basically was telling you guys, don't live stream yourself building your worlds because you don't want to get disqualified. And honestly, I don't care if I get disqualified. I want to help you guys succeed. There's so many amazing creators in this community who can value from like what we're going to be teaching today. So really want to help level you guys up, show you some basics, and make your Spring Jam competition entries the best they can be. So with that, what we found out in the last week, you can't use the Essentials bundle. And I was like heartbroken, mind blown, and I really want to fight back. So I really hope they change their mind on this. I think it's really holding back the competition submissions and where they can go. I really think that, you know, asset bundles in general really raise the entire community up. I mean, it elevates everybody. You know, it's like, I don't have to know how to make an edible food. I just attach the script. You know, there's so many benefits to working with, you know, others and using other assets to help you become a creator faster and better. So I really hope we get that changed. I will let you know that you can use the official assets. So that's anything under the New World tab. You're going to see there's Grassy Meadow, Rocky Island, Twisting Temple, Mysterious Jungle, some of these here, the pre-made mechanics, launching and throwing. and the scripting environment. So feel free to check those out. I know they're not as easy to use as the Essentials bundle, but I do encourage you to, if you need something to get started, definitely use those. Please note that a couple of the worlds do have space junk, which is probably what Oculus is going to say. Yeah. Yeah, so be aware of that.
Careful for space junk and sub to Vidyuu.
Hey. Any question, Bobby? Happy to
I gotta
take
go.
questions right now.
Bye.
Thanks,
Sorry, you
Dee.
forgot to hit live.
Ah, he's so teasing me. Is he teasing me? He's teasing me. Oh gosh, what a silly
I can see you
joker.
live. I can see you live.
Oh man,
You're
that's too funny. Great to have you guys all live. 14 concurrent viewers. That's amazing. We've never had that many at the start of a stream. Thank you guys. So let's see. Where are we at? We went through that. We talked about that. So basically, I'm going to continue going off the Essentials bundle, but I'm going to recreate this script from the ground up. So last time when I built the script, I used the Respond script as a basis. This time we will not be using any script as a basis. We'll be starting from a brand new fresh script block. We have 76% voted yes on starting from the ground up and showing you the basics of how we make this really cool
I voted
point
no.
grabbing system. Oculus voted no. Shame on you. Bobby, what'd you say?
No, I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, with that, we're going to head out. I encourage you all, if you want to follow along, head into an empty world with us right now, or into your own empty world. You can invite friends if you have some that are online, and we're heading to Flower Picker. Oculus, have I added you yet to that? If not, I will do that right now.
You have not.
Oh, what a shame. Oh, invite as editor. Boom, there you are. Oculus might even make us a flower. Wouldn't that be cool? Okay,
I
Kayla's
might.
already on.
I might.
And
See you there.
I will see you there. Boom, 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 boom. I am inviting my good friend See Me Bro as a tester. He's so silly. He pops in all the time, freaks me out. So I added him as a tester. Oculus and I are heading to the Flower Picker world. Here we go. Maybe. Here we go. All right, you guys. So what questions do you have? Please feel free to comment, ask questions. Seriously excited to have you all here. I'm going to go ahead and end that poll now that we have made our decision. Appreciate all of you who voted. Thank you guys so much. That was awesome. And oh, you know what I need to do? We are over time. So it's Peace Psy. Love that brand. Okay, we're going to hit to Horizon plus Lakes. There we go. Aha. Now we're good. I'm doing thumbs up. You probably can see me in the real world. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Alrighty. Da, 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 da. Would you like me to show step by step? Ah, and it posted the results. Nice. What's up, stream? Says Just Ask Carlos. Yo, he is up. He's up and he's at him. He's in the stream with us. Appreciate Just Ask Carlos joining us. And man, yeah, there on that user voice form we posted under feature request, there is a feature request for more people in build mode. Please vote for that. We can only have 4 people, which really limits this because I want to invite all of you to come check it out. And if we had like even 8, I mean, 8 would be amazing because then we could have 4 of you guys come and join us. I mean, 5 actually, because I only have 3 slots filled. I did want to leave room for KO or See Me to pop in. So I'm leaving that one last slot open for them to jump in throughout the time we're streaming. But man, I would love to invite you guys to come hang out and check this out. It'd be so good, especially if you're doing classes. That'd be so much fun to have like 7 people in a class where we can like, you know, interact together. Whoa, we're here. Welcome Galactic Victoria. Welcome Oculus. And oh, what's this? What's this? Man, I'm on 3rd on the list. That's not good. That's not good. And Galactic has definitely broken this because that flower is the only one remaining. Galactic, how could you? It's okay.
Yeah. Galactic broke it.
Wait.
Definitely was Galactic.
Oh, it's too funny. I'm pretty confident the script works just fine. We can look at it again, but I'm pretty confident it's breaking because Galactic has rough internet, and so when she grabs it, there's some sort of lag that causes it to hit. 90% sure that's the bug.
I kind of love, but also feel bad that you're blaming Galactic.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I
soon as I
feel
got
bad.
here.
I feel bad, but I'm also like, I'm pretty
No, it's our
confident it's
internet.
the truth.
It's absolutely your internet. Sorry that your internet's terrible. Oculus is grabbing all the flowers, but your internet sucks.
Wait, don't touch them. Let's see if it breaks with Oculus and I grabbing it, because I would love to prove me wrong. I really would. So, Dude, you don't get any of these. And so, I think some of this like delay is also a little bit of build mode because there's a lot more going. Oh man, he's so fast. Oh my gosh. How?
No, it's definitely Galactic's internet.
It hasn't broken yet, has it? No, it hasn't. They're all working.
No.
They're all working. What are you freaking out about? All of them were working. What do you think is broken? Yeah, those are working just fine. Sweet. I'm never going to catch up to Galactic. So I'm going to need to build
Look
a
at my
fertilizer.
score.
I'm
It's
going to
going
need to
up
build a
and down.
bot. I'm going to need to build all sorts of things so I can beat your score, show you who's the boss because I scripted this fish. Okay. Fish wish list. Let's do it. Oh my gosh. I'm just having fun. I apologize if anybody found that offensive. I didn't mean to be offensive. Anyway, I'm really excited. We've got this really cool setup here. I think y'all are super excited about it. So this is what we're building. We're building this. This is already a lot of fun, and I'm really excited to show you. Feel free to ask your questions, and we're going to go ahead into build mode. And so you can see we're in the essentials bundle where we just came from, except for this has most of it been deleted. So we imported this. This was our base model. We kept all the things that we thought we might want. Oculus wants to say something. Yes.
Yeah. Instead of the all-time picks with good internet leaderboard, you're gonna do those per session leaderboard things.
Ooh, so Oculus brings up a point that someone was just commenting, like literally, I just responded to a comment before this stream from a guy who was asking, can I get a fourth leaderboard by using player persistent variables? And I was like, not really, because the data leaves at the end of the session. As soon as someone leaves, it's gone. But theoretically, you could like create a database of information, and that can we stop with the dinging? I'm literally getting a headache. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm at second. I'm good now. Sorry.
Oculus. So anyway, so this guy wanted to build another leaderboard. So right now you can only have 3 leaderboards, right? And leaderboards are awesome. I mean, they track some awesome data. It's global. Everybody can see, like when you come into this world, even if we're not here, you're going to see this information. Like KO hasn't been online in days, and here it is still. And so the thing that you got to think about here is this is fantastic. And you can have 3 of them. So you could have, right now we're doing picks. We haven't really got a good name for the leaderboard yet. We'll come back to that after we continue doing some progress. But the problem is people hate this. Okay, I want you to see if you can relate to me here. Have you guys ever been to an arcade? Raise your hand if you've been to an arcade. And I want you all in the stream, raise your hand, throw up some, emojis, some hand emojis. I'll even look for one for you so you can just copy paste it. Let's see. Let's search for hand. HAND. Is there a hand emoji? There's one with a pineapple. I'm just typing pineapple. That's fine. Hand pineapple. I'm doing this through my nose hole. Give me some credit. Anyway, so if you've been to an arcade before, which we all have, in the arcade, you look at the thing, you walk up to it, and it's got 10 names on it. And either they're pre-built-in names to give you something to shoot for, or they're a bunch of the same person who's been there with a ton of quarters. And the reality is you're never going to get there. Those people have been there forever. It's disheartening. It makes you not really want to continue playing. And the reality is it ruins the experience for new users. And so if you're wanting to build a world that is a lot of fun for everybody, then you got to think about that. If you don't care about everybody and you just want to build an experience that is fun for the people you've talked to and you've told about it and you've explained and helped them get to the point where they enjoy it. Because the reality is, like, when Arena Clash started, I hated Arena Clash. Arena Clash wasn't fun until I was good at it. And I think everybody's had that experience. Until you get good at it, it's honestly painful. You're just dying and dying and dying, and you're sitting there in a red screen for half the game. It's awful. So if that's you, you can relate to what we're describing here, which is that you want to make this as appealing to new users as possible. Like when you first start, if you walk into Club 1 right now, if you were the first person to walk in, you are number 1 on the influencer list. Number 1. That's amazing. Number 1. And if you stay there for a few minutes and you invite all your friends, you're still number 1 because you've been there for a few minutes. Honestly, that type of stuff is so cool because it's all about who is there right now, who's in the session. And so you can have a session full of 10 people and all 10 are on the VIP list or that, influencer list as you walk in the club. And we have seen people go from being like, this is awful. Why am I not on this list? Where the heck is it? Like, who are these people? To, oh my gosh, I'm on the list. Oculus, like, I don't know how you got me on this list, but thank you so much. Like, he's literally getting DMs all the time from people who are just showing up. They don't understand how the scripting works and they're just blown away. And so I'm going to teach you how we can do the scripting. Even today, I think it would be great to implement this in this build like right now because it's easy to do. I'm getting some weird headset lag. I'm not sure what it is.
It's your terrible internet. Here, have a flower.
I'm gonna stop the world for a second just in case there's just something running here that's a little intense. Maybe all the clicking flowers. Yeah, it feels better. Okay, so okay, so what are we doing in Club 1, right? So what is happening? Well, what's happening is we have a sorted list of the people who are present. It's all about who is there right then. And if there's 20 people in the room, sure, only 10 people are on the list, but those 10 people are more inclined to have seen that list because they've already been there before. And they're looking at it and they're like, wow, I can't believe I'm on this list. I can't believe I'm number 3 or number 6. Honestly, it's a lot of fun. And so I highly encourage you to think about that. So the next thing we're going to look at here is this leaderboard. This is a global leaderboard. It's top ranked. We're going to duplicate, make another leaderboard, and that leaderboard is going to be people in the world. How many flowers have people in that current session picked? If you've just walked in and like me and Oculus just went at it, but Victoria was probably here all this past week working on her numbers. Oh my gosh, shame on you. Just kidding. Love. Oh my gosh. But anyway, so but see that it's like, oh my gosh, now I got this thing to compete for. So having this is great, but also wanting to have one that's like, hey, wow, look at that, I'm number 1 in this current session. So what are we going to do? We're going to go ahead and hit play on the world. We're going to duplicate this leaderboard, and this leaderboard here will be current session. And so we're going to try and make this obvious that that's what this is. And so if you've never pulled out a leaderboard gizmo, they're found over here on the Gizmos tab. And world leaderboard, there it is. I have to get up nice and close. I'll make that larger actually. There we go. So you can pull out a world leaderboard just like that, and then you can open up the properties panel by putting your finger inside and pressing forward on the thumbstick to open up the properties panel. Press and hold, it'll come to you. And then on this properties panel, we can choose what is the leaderboard variable we're showing and what is the title. And so this will be top pickers, and then we'll call this in session. So we'll put a parentheses session, and then we'll do one that's global. And so this is top pickers session, and then over here will be top pickers global. Maybe, there we go. Top pickers global. I need to turn down my heater because I am like sweating really bad, so I apologize. I'm gonna quickly stand up, check the temperature's at 71 degrees, which is pretty hot. And I'm back. So let's go ahead and see how we're going to do this. So if you've never made a leaderboard variable, there's actually a couple tutorials I really want to shout out. There's one by Hyperjewel. It's on the Meta Horizon Worlds page, and it's one of their weekly creator tutorials where Hyperjewel shows you how to build a really simple distance leaderboard, which is really cool. And so what you do is you go to your settings page or your, there's a new one. Anyway, you go to the settings page or the session page, and then you head to leaderboards. And over here under world leaderboards, you have top pickers, which is the one I already created. And over here we have new. Click on new, then we can type in top. I'm going to call this top, so TP sesh. TP sesh. It's nothing bad. It's just, you know, top pickers session. Okay, so we've created that next leaderboard variable. So now we have top pickers global, top pickers sesh. And we go to our player variables where we can do flowers picked, and then we'll do sesh FP. So right, so flowers picked, session, flower picked, click create. Now we've got our flowers and our session. Perfect. Okay. So with that, what are we missing? Well, we need to go to the properties panel of this one, right? And now we have to select that from the drop down. So now we've selected the top picker session. You can see I've got it set up to 10. It's billboarding, which means it follows the view. And then there's no scores currently found. And so we're going to write a script in a minute, but I want to reset everything. So over here, you can see that we have our visual effects, which is currently set up to be a hit ring. These are extremely cheap, which is why we used it. We also have a text gizmo that says +1 on it. And then we have a sound gizmo, which we found under our sounds tab. And I'll show you where that is. Excuse me. So over here under our build menu, sounds, you can search for this sound over here with the search button. And then this one is called Twinkle. I love Twinkle. It's amazing. So definitely recommend it. We have our distance set to 12 meters, so you have to be right next to it. And that feedback, the visual and sound feedback, is super, super addicting. So definitely got to have that. Okay, so here's our script. I'll talk you through our script really quick before we recreate it. Not sure. Oh, this must be. I'm going to go ahead and delete this galactic. I do apologize. You're welcome to follow along, though, as we create the new one. Top 10 flower pickers. Gonna go ahead and delete.
Did you just blame her for that scoreboard?
No, I didn't. No, there was a thing above that scoreboard. Oculus is like, how dare you be so mean to Galactic Victoria? She doesn't even have a voice. How dare
Like
you?
everything is not her fault. It's not your fault, I promise.
Yeah, it's not. Okay, but I will say these flowers are pretty intense. Do you think you can delete every other petal for me? I'm like, is that possible? Like, can you duplicate a copy and try deleting every other flower? I really love them, but I'm also thinking about world capacity long term. And we're gonna look at our we're at 51% objects already, and we want to have a lot of these flowers. So this one's great because it's just one flower, right? Oh, wait. There's cubes in here. Oh my gosh. I take it back. These are scary. Sorry, I'm like a capacity optimizing person. Oculus, look at this. Each one of these is a cube. I just died.
That's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. Unfortunately, we
gorgeous.
just can't do that though. So maybe clean this up to like, I don't know, every other one as well. Again, sorry, but thank you. Okay. Yeah, if you have a lot of objects in the same spot, it can also add some lag. So definitely be careful with that. Now, I wanted to quickly take a look at our previous script so you can kind of see what we're doing. So this is flower point 1. So flower point 1 has, when object is grabbed by player, we set current picks for the player to be +1. So we're increasing the flowers picked. We're setting top picks for the player to be current picks. So then we've got this value updating both their variables. Both variables get updated. Then we move sound effects to position of self, move visual effects, move text. And then we play sound, play visual effects, force release. And then we set simulation to false, set visibility to false, set collidability to false, send return to self after a delay. And then when world is started, we save that origin, position, origin, rotation. So this is our classic return script right here. And then we return when return is received, we set simulation, visibility, collidability to true, physical motion to true. All of this gets set back on. And then we stop physical motion so that if it had any physics, it would stop, which it doesn't. And so we're going to go ahead and recreate this from the ground up. So that was flower point 1. Oh, I hate to delete you, but don't call me maybe. I'm sorry. Oh, you're going to give that to Galactic. Galactic, we've got you a reference guide. Okay, this is mean. This is now mean. I don't want to be mean. But we use this all the time to reference when we're building.
That was for me.
Oh, that was for you. Oh
that
gosh.
Was for me.
Oh gosh, I just thought you were being so
Why are you
rude.
bullying
You're
Galactic?
good. That's I knew those were gonna have to be deleted.
I was bringing this over to share, and
Oh, that's
Alex
so much
is
nicer.
dead set on just bullying.
I know,
me.
I'm not. I was
For
trying to
us.
be nice.
He's like, is this for Galactic? No, it's for us. I don't have this memorized.
So what I was thinking here, Galactic, just kind of looking at this flower, I'm going to show you what Lakes would do, which is a joke among our friends because I do this all the time to people. So I apologize. I should try to get better. But basically, I'm going to show you how I would do this. So these are using unlit material type, and unlit means you can't see the edges of them, right? So they blend together really nicely and they get this really cool edge, right? So that's the edge we're going for. And so if we take this one here, we put this in the center at the distance that you had roughly, we can then rotate an array, and I'll use my snap tool to make sure I get the right distance. And there we go. And that there, if I check, is 6 objects. And this here is 20 objects. And so I have done basically the exact same design with 1/4 of the objects because I used the edge of each of the squares. And so this is just like practice and experience of having to use horizon limits. So don't like feel bad about that. Honestly, I've done exactly the same design, not that design. Your design was 10 times better than anything I've ever done. But you know, like just this is stuff that you kind of learn after many iterations. Now, because I want this to be really, really efficient, I'm actually going to delete half of them and do it like that. And now it's only 3, which means we could have like 6 of these and it's not going to eat up a lot of capacity. And that still looks pretty good in my opinion. So
Awesome.
anyway.
Awesome. And then I think this one should just probably go.
I love this one though. Let me see what Lakes would do. I don't know what I would do, but let's like actually take a look. So do you mind letting go of it for me? You have to click one time with your index trigger. Thank you. Okay. I'm just going to see what happens. And basically often when I'm building flowers, I do this exact same thing where there's just so many. And so I've ungrouped it now, and I'm going to try deleting every other one, which is going to be really difficult, but I think it's going to look pretty good still, because I love this design. I think this is one of the like prettiest flowers ever. You're doing fabulous, seriously. Boom. Yeah, look at that. That looks really good, doesn't it? Like, despite having deleted half of your flower.
Oh, whoa, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, kind of in Horizon, one of the things that we want to do is like infer detail and infer texture. That actually looks pretty good. It's not as amazing. I still love how that kind of looks more puffy, but this looks really cool. So, great work. So if it's okay, I'm going to go ahead and delete these 2 older ones, but keep making flowers. I'm really, really enjoying the flowers you're making, and I can't wait to implement them into the game, because I think part of what we're going to do as part of the flower picker game is each flower will be a different tier, right? So you have your original flower and you can upgrade it. You have your secondary flower you bought. And so every flower is going to be this leveling up process, and they become prettier and prettier the further up you go. And so this is like steps and steps in the right direction. Oh, that is nice, Oculus. Look at that. So I think what he's done here is use the squishing mechanism. So if you look at this, what it looks like, it's actually more like that.
That's so gross.
That's what it actually looks like. But
Yeah.
because he flattened it, it looks gorgeous. Flower's gorgeous.
Flower's gorgeous.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So let's keep making more and more
Smush
flowers, because we need to have, you know, an array of flowers. I'm going to go ahead and say that we're going to have one flower here that we use as kind of our master flower, and the rest of these flowers are just going to be ones we're going to come back to. So these are pretty. We're going to save these and come back to them. We do need to make some sort of like numbering scale. So I think really quickly, I'm going to go ahead to Gizmos, and I'm actually going to take a quick look at the chat. But Oculus, do you think you can build a text gizmo that says like 1,
Sounds
2, 3,
difficult.
4, 5, and then we can put each flower along that number value, so we can start kind of figuring out which one is each tier?
You got it.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay. Hey, chat. So I'm back. Let's take a look at what you guys are saying. Let's see. Hands. Thank you. Oh, I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Really appreciate it. The flowers look so good. Where are you in Horizon Worlds? Hi. We're in build mode. And so we're working on a new world called Flower Picker. Thank you, Selena. Appreciate you. Where are you in Horizon Worlds? Okay, yeah. So yeah, we're in build mode. You can join via empty world and like follow along in your own build mode. I'll have to keep my apartment at a cool 68 always. Yeah, I kind of think about opening the window. The heat is rising right now. So I'm actually going to do that real quick. It's really hard with a VR headset because of how hot they get. And, you know, I'm sure you all have experienced heat of a VR headset, especially when you are, you know, having it plugged into power and you got your heater on. Oh my goodness. Okay, it's still shocking how quickly worlds fill up even after the capacity increase. Oh yeah, well see, this thing that we're dealing with is object capacity. So what you were looking at there is also with some assets, right? Like we imported a lot of assets from the Essentials bundle when we started, and the Essentials bundle right now is like 90% object capacity, which is why I highly encourage you to take the Essentials bundle, delete at least half of it, keep the things you really want, and use those to start your world. You can keep the scripts. Scripts don't take up very much capacity at all. They don't take up any animation capacity. They only take up one object per script. So it's like maybe 1% if you kept every script in the world. So definitely encourage you to keep all the scripts, but delete as many objects as you don't think you're gonna need. And you can always go back and get those objects later. Whew. Yeah, that flower did cost about 1%. I believe it's 20 well, those were cubes, so you can get 50 cubes per 1%. Anyway, it was quite a bit. But yeah, thank you, Perambulating CRISPR. I really appreciate you, tuning into the stream. Anybody else, you guys are more than welcome to comment, vote, you cast your questions, all of the things, do them, and greatly appreciate y'all hanging out. And we're going to continue building this script. So Oculus is working on the flower tiers section. That is really nice. He's using the megatext 4 script, which is why it looks like that when you grab it, and when you let go, it does that. And if you've used megatext before but didn't know how to fix it, when you open it up, and I don't know if this is necessarily fixing it, but you can come in here, type a space at the end, and then hit enter, and it saves that. So when you move it around, it still has that value. And so Galactic, you are a resident artista. So I encourage you, I think she's away right now, but we're going to have her set up what she thinks is the best, highest tier flower. So you're going to take whatever you consider to be the worst flower, put it at number 1. And don't worry, mine is obviously the worst. So I will gladly take that position. So here is the worst flower in our pit batch. And then we're going to go keep organizing these. Oculus is like, no, I'm number 0. I want to be 0. So anyway, start ordering these down. And, whichever ones you think kind of go in order, these are the flowers people are going to unlock as we continue building this game. Cool. So this is the one we're going to start with. And the first thing we need to think about is, as you saw in our script, it basically, the moment you grab it, it returns to this origin position and origin rotation, right? So we're going to go ahead and pull out a script block. So if you guys are following along in an empty world, we have a script gizmo pulled out. Looks like we have, somebody's already pulled out a script. Okay, that's Galactic. So Galactic, I appreciate you doing that, and feel free to do that, but I think you want to follow along with the script, and so don't feel like you have to do the flower stuff right now. So go ahead and please use your script. Be more than happy to have you follow along and learn with us today. And if you have questions, be more than happy to speak up and interrupt, because if you're having a problem, likely people in the chat are also having that same problem. So I appreciate anything you have as feedback. So thank you. Okay, so since this is going to be the main one, I'm going to call it just Flower Picker, but if you want to call it Galactic's Flower Picker, that would be great. So I'm going to call this Flower 1.0. Here we go. So this is the first version of the flower. Now, when the world is started, we need to save some values. So we're going to head over to our variables tab. That's the pound symbol in the top right. And then we're going to create new variables. So the first one is going to be a vector variable. Vectors are X, Y, Z values that represent positions in the world. They can have other representations, but for our case, we're going to call it origin position because it will represent the origin position of our flower, which is that position in the world. So X, Y, and Z, which is up and down in horizon. Click confirm. There we go. We're going to click new variable, and we're going to create a rotation variable. And this will be origin rotation. Similar to a vector, it is also XYZ, but instead of being in numbers, it's in rotarians. And if you're confused at what a rotarian is, basically it's a number that ranges from 0 to 360, or I think it's actually negative 180 to positive 180. Anyway, it's a 4-dimensional number, very complex. I've barely learned them, but they are awesome. And all you need to know is it's 0 through 360 XYZ, and we'll show you how you can use it in your scripts right away without having to know how they work. Now on our second tab over, we have the values tab where you can grab a set2. We're going to bring over 2 set2 code blocks, and we're going to place this origin position and origin rotation into these slots. Now, if you just saw me duplicate, to duplicate, basically you look at your right thumbstick. You see that plus button? You can duplicate by thumbsticking to the right. You can also duplicate by or delete by pulling down. And when I let go of this, it'll actually just disappear. There we go. And so if I wanted to duplicate another set2, I could grab this and duplicate it over. We're going to go ahead and delete that one now. Awesome. So when world is started, we have set origin position to empty value, set origin rotation to empty value, and it's time that we set this up because that's an error. That's what that red X is. So we're going to head on over to our operators tab. That's the third tab over. And under operators, we can scroll down to object. So under object, we have position of object, rotation of object, and I'm going to quickly check the chat to see if you guys have any questions. Nope. So good job. You guys are all following along. If you aren't or you're getting stuck, please feel free to comment. Happy to help unblock you any way I can. Really want to help you guys unlock scripting. This stuff is so powerful. And yeah, I'd really really hope this is helpful. So now we're going to grab position of object, which we'll drag into the value slot. You'll notice it highlights. See how it highlights where it's going to drop? We'll go ahead and let that go there. And then we'll grab rotation of object. Important to make sure you're grabbing the position of and rotation of code blocks. I've seen it sometimes people will accidentally duplicate this when it's position of. You want to make sure it's position of, rotation of. And so also you can use undo and redo in your scripts. That's on your left hand, which is really fabulous. Okay, now this script will run on the flower itself. So the origin position is of the position of self, and we can find self back on our values tab. So values is the second one from the top right, and you can scroll down to value input where you'll find inputs. Now value inputs are really awesome. So you got constants like pi, string input lets you allows you to type in a string. So any string you want, like hello world, for instance. Color input is a color, rotations, vectors, you can type in manually. Booleans is a true or false. So Boolean is anytime we say Boolean, we're just talking about true or false. It just means, is it on, is it off, is it yes, is it no? Very, very complicated word, but the concept is pretty simple. So if you get stuck on that, feel free to ask. I'm happy to explain a little bit more in depth too. Number input is just a number value. And then we have server player, which references the server. Don't worry about that. You don't need to know about it. And now we're going to go ahead and grab self, which we are going to thumbstick to the right to duplicate it into both object slots. And now we see set origin position to position of self, set origin rotation to rotation of self. Galactic, have you got that as well? Yeah, sweet. I wish we had confetti in build mode. It would be so fun. I would love it. Like, especially when I'm teaching a class and the whole class goes, yeah, we're all like freaking out. Oh! And somebody outside is probably in the park going, what in the world's happening in that room? I'll be like, yes! Ah! Poor people outside. I'm an embarrassment to my home. Oh my goodness. So we've got Flower 1.0. If you guys are having any questions, please let me know. Looks like you guys are doing great, so feel free to comment at any point in time. Now that we have when world is started, we're going to think about when does the thing happen. So when the world was started, we knew when the world initializes, we need to know these values, right? So we're setting this up when the world is started. So the next thing you got to think about when you're scripting in Horizon is it's event-based. And event-based scripting means something has to happen for the next thing to happen. And so say, for instance, you want a flower to return to its original position. Well, that thing has to happen when something else happens. So when do we want the flower to return? Well, we kind of want it to return when the object is grabbed by a player, right? But can you return an object that's held in a person's hand? Well, the answer is actually no. You might not have known that, but if someone's holding onto something and you try to move it, it'll jiggle their hand a little bit, but they're not going to lose it. It's still going to stay in their hand. So we have to remove it from their hand. So thinking about that, if we head to our events tab, that's the tab on the top left, we can scroll down, and I'm going to quickly check comments to make sure you guys are doing good. Sweet. We're going to head over to grab events when object is grabbed by player. So we're going to go ahead and grab when object is grabbed by player and bring that over and place it under when world is started. And so now we're thinking, okay, so we have the object has been grabbed, but the player can't hold it. We want it to instantly return back, but the player's holding it. So what do? Well, on our actions tab, we have a code block called force release. This allows the player to just immediately stop holding on to the flower. So it's like, I grabbed it. No, I don't. I thought I grabbed it, but I don't have it. What? And it's a lot of fun, honestly. I love force release. Sometimes you'll see people just like doing this in the air to try and grab things. So we're going to grab force release. Again, that's on the actions tab, third one over. And then under object, you'll see force release. Oh, and set interaction. That one's new too. Yeah, that's so cool. Ooh, I haven't even thought about using that for this. Are we going to? So what set interaction do? It's a brand new code block. I haven't actually used it yet. It allows you to set the interaction from like grabbable to physics or both. We're not going to use it for this one because we don't want physics on our object. That's true. So in that case, this doesn't do anything for us. But imagine once the person had force released it, you wanted physics to stop. You could say set it from grab or both. It would be both would be default, right? Then you'd set it to grabbable, so the person could no longer it would no longer be floating into the air. That is so cool. Really love that. Okay. So now that we have force released the object, what we want to do is also return it. So we force released it from the player's hand. I kind of want to do some other things here. So Galactic, are you doing good? Yeah? Sweet. So if everybody else is doing good, then what we're going to
Yeah.
continue doing is going up here at the top of our actions tab. We have set object visibility and collidability. So the first thing to think about is, okay, well, the flower has been force released, but the player could just grab it again, right? Like they can just, like you were saying, grab. So what we're going to do is go to set object visibility, drag that one over and place that under force release, and then also grab set object collidability. Now, what's important about visibility is we don't want to see the flower. Like, obviously, we don't want to see the flower. Like, it's got to disappear. When you grab it, poof. But what else needs to happen is that the collidability needs to turn off. And the reason the collidability needs to turn off is so that you can't grab it again. Because once you've forced released it, they can still grab it. Even if it's invisible, they can still grab it. And so if by setting collidability to false, it's no longer going to have physics interactions. It's no longer going to bump into things. Like if you grab something and there's a collidable there, it'll prevent you from grabbing something behind that collidable. So we're like, it's not visible. It's not collidable. You can't grab it. It can't block things. It's just basically disappeared at this point. Cool. That's awesome. So set that to false. You got that, Galactic? Yeah. Woo. So an object is grab force release on self, set self visibility to false, set self collidability to false. And then the next thing we need to do is I'd really like to make I want to make this so much more fun than last time. Flower tiers. Oh, nice. Oh, I'm liking what I'm seeing over there. Good stuff coming along. I was thinking, what if we changed the color of the flower bit? Like, what if we come over to our flowers here and we think about, some of these flowers. We look at this flower, right? Oculus has already designed a couple with it color changed. What if we grouped this section of pieces and we applied a random color to this piece of flower? Or what if we grouped one section of this and applied a random color to it? And same thing here. I mean, we wouldn't have this every other flower color. I mean, we could leave one of them as a base color and only change the every other color. But I think it would be really nice to have like a bunch of various colored flowers. And so even down here, right? So you could make this purple piece, the one that's kind of coming through, leave the glowing one glowing, but you could change the color of the purple, color of the glowing. Here, to demonstrate this, if we go to our color style tab, I'm going to select, oh, right, because this is going to come with the style. Okay, so if I select this, change it to blue, then I select this glow and I change it to blue as well. This is what would happen if I applied the same color to it. Okay, Oculus, I have a task for you if you're working on flower design. You listening? Yeah. Okay, cool. So come check this out. So Victoria's flower down here is super cool because when I use the same color on it, the glow one is applying a different look than the other one, because if you use different properties under the style tab but apply the same color, it looks different. And so what I'm suggesting we do is up here, make the every other ones like metal, or make them plastic, but like more intense or less intense. So that way, when we apply the same color, they will look different. So it'll still look like this, but it'll be because of texture and style. So if you can set that up for me,
So
I
change
would.
material.
Yeah, because we're going to group the flower petals and change the flower petals, which is going to look so cool. So super excited about that. And so back on our script, wherever that went. Hello, Scripty. Yeah, I'm glad you're excited about that. This is gonna be fun. Okay, so now, like, I love the actions tab. If you haven't been to actions tab, this is where all the fun happens. Like, seriously, this is the fun section, because look, we did visible, we did collidable, we're doing color. Like, there's so much you can do. You can set gravity, you can set like attachables, you can launch projectiles, you can display text, animation, sounds, visual effects, haptic feedback, pop-ups. Oh my goodness. Okay, you get the point. It's amazing. So what we're gonna do is set the object color. So bring that one over. Now this isn't self. So this is the first time where self does not apply. So up here it was self, here it was self. This is not self. And so when you're thinking of the flower itself, that is this entire object. This is the grabbable object. But these flower petals will need to be a separate grouping that we will reference inside of our script. And so to reference inside of our script, under the properties panel, you see there's this reference pill. Once a script is attached, you can drag these reference pills around to reference other objects. And so I'll show you how we do that once we've written the script. And first, we're going to come into our variables tab again, and we're going to create a new object variable reference. Can you Can you multiple color variables that way a two-tone flower will shift accordingly? Great question. Yes, so you could do this twice. I will set it up in a way that you could follow. I think you're kind of seeing what we're doing to make it two-toned, and I highly recommend what we're doing. What we're doing here by doing it this way is going to make these flowers look fantastic. And why? Well, it's because they will be, sorry, that's not why they look fantastic. They look fantastic the way you're doing. They'd actually look better. But the reason this is better is because it's less animated objects. Each one of these is another added animated object, which will easily eat up against our capacity meter under simulation and animation, right? So like one of these without color changing is now, like, if you add a color changing, you get half as many flowers. Our world can literally have half as many flowers by adding one color changing section. By adding two color changing sections, now you only get a third as many flowers. So say you could have, and we have I don't think we have the chart in here. We have it online on Vidyuu. It's facebook.com/Vidyuu. We have the chart, but you can have roughly 150 animated objects. I want to say it's something like that. Oculus is going to probably look it up for us, but you could have 150 grabbable flowers if you did it the regular way. But by adding color changing our way, it's going to be 75, and doing it your way is going to be 50. That is dramatic. I mean, it's absolutely dramatic. So we are going to only do it this way. I don't recommend doing it the other way, but what you could do to make it the way you're describing is add two object variables. So the first thing we're gonna do is click this plus new variable button. We're gonna click the drop down, select object, and this is gonna be called the flower petals. Now you could call it flower petals 1, flower petals 2, but for us, it's just the flower petals object. So make sure it's an object type variable, click confirm. Now that we have a reference to the flower petals, and you might have flower petals 1 and flower petals 2, we now need to change the color. And because I want this to look different every single time, I want it to feel random, I want to feel organic when these flowers come up, we're going to grab flower petals, drag this over into the self section. So we're replacing self, and see how self highlights when I put it in there. You can also see it highlights here, it highlights there. If I dropped it right here, nothing would happen, but if I drop it while it's highlighting self, it'll replace self. Perfect. Now it's going to change it to this color. This is RGB red. What was the number?
What was the chart?
We want to know grabbable objects, not physics based, just grabbable. So animated and grabbable should be the same. So set flower petals color to red is what it's currently doing. That's awful. Let's delete this. And remember how I said I wanted to set this up in a way that would be easy for you to follow along if you wanted to have multiple two-tone colors. So what we're going to do to make that possible is click new variable, click drop down, and select color. And this is going to be called color. Color me. We'll call it color me. It's nice. And you can use this exact same. You only need one color variable, and we're going to color it with color me. Now you would go ahead and duplicate this line. Remember, thumbstick to the right to duplicate, and you'd have flower petals 2 here, but it wouldn't be exactly color me. It'd be like color me plus something. And so to quickly draw this up, we're not going to use this. So you guys don't need to follow along unless you're planning to do a two-toned, but you do color me, and we need to add a value to it. And so you take color me and say add something to the hue. So I guess we need to convert it to HSV, and then we're gonna have to convert it back. So this, I'm gonna do this really quick. Take a screenshot if you actually do this. So you convert HSB back to RGB. So Horizon uses RGB color values, and we're gonna take an HSV, convert it to an RGB so that way it displays correctly. And then what we're gonna do is hue shift over. So because we're converting HSV to RGB, we need to take the hue and slide it over, which means we need to do a new color from RGB. So we grab new color from RGB, which is not actually going to be RGB. It's actually going to be HSV. I know. And then we can get component of color. So put this in B and then drag over color me. And we're going to grab the blue component of color me. And so color me is going to be an HSV. We're going to save this as an HSV value. So we can delete that, grab HSV to RGB up here as well. Then we can grab color me, thumb sticking to the right to put it back here. Okay, so you do need to copy this section here. So this is converting HSV to RGB. Let me slow down for just 1 second so you can follow along. So Victoria, let me know you caught this as well. Under the operators tab, under color, there's HSV to RGB. And so inside of set flower petals color to, we are converting HSV to RGB and putting color me into the RGB slot. The reason we're using HSV is because it stands for hue, saturation, and value. We do not need to adjust the saturation and value. Hello, Preston. Uh, so we don't need to adjust the saturation and value. We want to stay at 100% saturation, 100% value, but the hue is going to be a random hue between 0 and like 1, right? So it's going to be a random number with decimals between 0 and 1, so that way it's a random color. And by doing that, we can then take that value and slightly shift the hue, so that way your two-toned color is slightly ajar. So what we're then doing is taking the saturation and value, which we have here. We're going to duplicate this to the right. Although now that I think about it, sorry, we don't need to do this. This is silly. Head to your values at tab, grab a number input, and we know our saturation and value will always be 1, so we can just type in 1 there. Beautiful. There we go. Okay. I'm going to backstep just a second here. I apologize. This is why we usually edit, right? So what we're going to do is delete convert HSV to RGB. We'll use that somewhere, but we're not using it now. And we're going to grab color me and drop it back into here. Okay. I want to keep this script as simple as possible, but for this conversion one, it can be complex. Okay. So then the hue section, what we need to do is take color me, convert it back to a hue, grabbing the component of the hue. If that sounds complicated, it's because it kind of is. So, and then we need to add to that just slightly. And then we need to modulus it. Oh my gosh, what's happening? I love modulus. What modulus allows us to do is say modulus 1. What this means is it returns the remainder. So if you modulus a random number with decimals and it becomes 1.1, for instance, 1.1 modulus 1 returns 0.1. It returns the remainder. If it's 0.9, it returns 0.9. If it's 1, it returns 0. And so the reason this is valuable is because we're going to take that hue and we want to make sure it doesn't go above the hue that's available. Hue ranges between 0 and 1. Above 1 doesn't work. So with that out of the way, we're then going to grab the plus symbol, put that into the A slot of the module symbol. You don't need to follow this, Galactic. We're not actually doing this. This is just for this guy who asked. This is too complicated for most people. So I hope he's following along. But anyway, we're going to grab plus 0.1, and then we're going to come down to our color section again and grab get component of color. And then we're going to grab RGB to HSV. So we're going to grab RGB to HSV, convert color me into an HSV value, get the red, which is actually the hue component, add 0.1 to it, modulus it by 1. So if it ends up being above 1, it goes back to being the decimal below it. And then use 1 and 1 for our saturation value. And now we have a color that is 10% different than the other color. And so it might even be valuable to go not 0.1, but 0.05 would actually be a good option as well. So it's just a very slight difference. So 0.05 would be a good option. And then you could have 2 objects. Okay, so I went through all of that and I hope that helps. And but we're not actually doing that in our world. So I appreciate the question. I think it was a very valuable one. I'm going to slowly pan through here and feel free to rewatch that. But I think that's pretty clear if you end up doing that. Now, what we need to do is calculate our color, and our color calculation is going to be easy peasy, I promise. So back on our values tab at the very top, remember we grabbed set 2 to set our origin position, origin rotation. Anytime we're setting a variable, we grab set 2. So we're going to go ahead and drag set 2 above set flower petals, and we're going to be setting the color me variable. So we're going to thumbstick to the right to duplicate that into here. And the value, remember we were using on our operators tab under color just a second ago, we were looking at HSV to RGB. Well, we do need to convert from HSV to RGB, so we're going to drag that over into the value tab. And then we're going to grab new color from RGB. Now, it's not actually from RGB. It's just like 3 values that we can input. So it'll actually be HSV. And then back on our values tab, remember that number input where we grabbed 1? We can put that into the blue and the G, the B and the G, and we're setting that to 1. So this is 100% saturated and 100% bright. And then for our hue, we're going to go back to our operators tab, scroll up a little bit, and you're going to find random number with decimals under random numbers. So this is on the operators tab, 4th one to the right. Now we're going to drag random number with decimals into the R slot, where we're going to fill it out with a 0 and a 1. So if I'm sticking to the right, I can put these numbers here, or you can grab them from the values tab. And now we're getting a random hue between 0 and 1, which is any color between red and red. And if you haven't seen a hue scale before, under your style tab, under the drop down, you can see the manual color slider, which will show you all the hues that are available. And so we're saying 100%, that's this far right corner. So it's going to choose a color that's anywhere in those color ranges. So anything you're seeing there is what it's going to be. Pretty cool. Whew. So that was a mouthful. I'm going to explain that one more time. I want to make sure Galactic's on board. You got it? Nice. How are you guys doing in the comments? Any questions? I'm going to go read your guys' questions here. In doing your random color script, you should generate a random number. If that value equals a specific number, such as 100, make it gold and worth more points or something. Ooh, ooh, I mean, ooh, don't you do that to me. That's such a great idea. I love shiny Pokemon. Emojis in the chat if you love more Vidyuu live streams. Aw. Oh my gosh, stay out of my business. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We'll have to do a live stream where we do building like that. That'd be so much fun. Video, some good tutorials show how to utilize snapping tool. I do, but I want more, right? Like we want more snapping tutorials. So yeah, let's work on that. Let's do a live stream on that one of these days. We'll do an entire like building mansion with snapped walls. It'll be a live stream. It'll be good. Oh my goodness, this is so great. So great to have you all here. Really appreciate you guys. Let's see. That gummy bear. Don't eat sugar. It's so bad for you, but this gummy bear, my goodness, I'm having a stomach ache already. Dave Da Vinci, great to have you. I'm glad you are learning a lot. Feel free to come back and watch from the beginning. This isn't a like beginner tutorial. It's a beginner scripting tutorial. So if you started creation, this is a great tutorial for you. But if you, if you've started if you've done a lot of creation, great tutorial for you. But if this is like your first time creating, probably want to start in the description of this video is a playlist to get you started. So definitely check that out. And I'm also going to show you something in VR that we worked on. I'm really excited to show you. And so if you go into VR and you're in build mode, like we are now, under your build panel, there is now a learn section. I want to say this rolled out to like 50% of users. I'm not sure if everybody's got it yet. Hopefully you do. And when you click on the learn section, my face is going to show up. Yo, I can't get closer to it.
Hi,
but anyway,
I'm
there's
Lakes.
me.
And
No. We know who you are. Get out of here. So anyway, I had the pleasure to work with a lot of creators last year. We worked to make some amazing tutorials. You can see intro to hand tools in here. So if you wanted to learn like your tools that are on your hands, these tools here, there's a whole section. You can see like if you want to learn about lock tool, grouping
Phoenix.
objects.
And in this series,
Shout out to Phoenix for VR, local scripting, publishing, intro to scripting, intro to gizmos, intro to creation. Lots of great tutorials in here. So excited to have those in VR. And I hope you'll check them out. Cool. Siri, I did not call you up. What's up? It's too funny. Oh my gosh. Woo. Okay, so where do we leave off? Color. Okay.
Hey,
Yes.
Lakes, do you mind checking and
Absolutely.
making sure I'm up to date?
You are so absolutely right. I can totally do that. When world is started, set origin, position of self, set origin, rotation of self. When object is grabbed, force release, set visibility, set collidability, set color to convert color between random number between 0 and 1, 1, 1. Beautiful. Great job. Then set the flower petal color to the color me. Great job. HSB to RGB. Move self to origin position. Move self to origin rotation. I'm curious if that works. Oh my gosh, if that works. Don't you dare. That's amazing. You're stepping ahead of me, but I love it. I'm so jealous. I want to get there. Okay, I'll be back. Oh, sorry. I closed your script on accident. Okay.
I had to go somewhere, so I was like, well,
Intuition. I'm sorry. Oh, great. Let's see. Me wondering, is this how you're so energetic? Gummy bear sugar intake. That's too funny. Oh my gosh. I hope. Is
Always
there a
turn
gummy
up to
bear
11.
emoji? Is there a gummy bear emoji? I'm searching. Gummy. Please. Oh no, there's no gummy bear emoji. Oh, is there a bear emoji? Come on, give me something. Oh, it's a teddy bear. But is there sugar? Like, give me a sugar. Nope. No, nothing. Sugar. How about sweet? You guys, I want to see some fun emojis. Please give me your fun emojis. There you go. I'm doing this through my nose hole, so apologies when I type funky, weird stuff in there. Like, I think it says bear, sweet, candy. I don't know. It's too funny. Okay, so back here on our script panel, it says set flower petals to colors. So I wanted to quickly talk you through what we're doing again. So back here on our values tab, we have set to at the top. What we're starting by doing is setting on our variables tab, we have the color me variable. And so we set the color me to, and what we're doing is getting an HSV value. That's a hue saturation value. And so we convert HSV to RGB, which allows us to grab a hue saturation value, convert it to RGB since Horizon runs in RGB. And so we create a new color from the 3 points HS and V. Then we take our hue and we set it to be a random number between 0 and 1 because all of the values are between 0 and 1 when we're talking about colors in Horizon. And then we have our saturation and value set to 100%. And then on our operators tab, this is where you're going to find all these values. So we have random numbers. We also have our colors, which is where all these color stuff came from, new color. And it's from RGB, but it's actually HSV when we're converting it. And then we have the conversion tools as well as some other cool stuff in there. So anyway, that's how we're going to create this random color. Super excited, love colors and making my world so much more fun and colorful. Highly encourage it. Now, I kind of want to try what Galactic did. Hers looked way more fun than mine. I am jealous. I'm super jealous. Yours looks way more fun. Okay, so the question is, under your motion tab, you go to the motion, there's instant motion move to. I don't know if this works, which is why I kind of want to try it. So we're grabbing move to, and we're grabbing rotate to from the instant motion section at the top. And we are indeed affecting self, so we'll leave self in that slot. But on our variables tab, we're going to grab origin position, drag that in and replace the vector. Remember the highlighting here defines where we're going to replace. So we're going to replace that one. And then we have our origin rotation, which we'll drag in and replace here. There we go. So now we're moving self to the origin position. We're moving self to the origin rotation. And so the question I'm asking myself is, what if this was instant? I mean, we were doing color setting up here. I'm going to comment out some codes. If you've never commented out code up on your values tab, and I'm doing this to test. You don't have to do this to test, but testing throughout your process is pretty valuable. So by putting this comment outside of this, I can pull code blocks and place them outside. So I don't want to set the visibility. I don't want to set the collidability. I just want to check that this works. Because in my recollection, force releasing and moving in the same code block, bad idea. You don't do that. Like that's a mistake. So I was going to do something complex, but remember when we first started, Galactic's internet was causing the script to break. So I was thinking this might actually, no offense. I'm not trying to bully you. But I think this might solve that problem. And if it does, we got something good going on here. So we've set visibility to false and I've set collidability to false, but I moved it into this comment block. So it's outside of the script, which means it's non-functioning code. And we have our script running. And what this script is going to do is when the object is grabbed, we're going to force it out of the player's hand. We're going to change the color of it. And then we're going to move it back to its origin position. And so it should just kind of like snap back when you grab it. And then you can grab it again is the idea. So I kind of want to try this because I think it sounds pretty cool and fun. So down here we have our original flower that we were using. And then on our flower at the bottom, see this drop down? This is where we can connect our script. And we're looking for the, what did I call it? I don't even remember. It's probably at the bottom. Flower 1.0, there it is. Okay, so I've attached the Flower 1.0 script. You can see it has a reference here for an empty slot. This is, remember how I was telling you can grab these pills and drag them and drop them into other, so that's how we're gonna reference the flower petals. We don't need to affect these other variables that are in here as those are changed by the script itself. And then down here on our flower, we're gonna open up the properties panel, which I'd already done, and then hit the zoom in button. Now that we've zoomed into the flower, we're gonna select just the flower petals. We're gonna go ahead and group them. Very nice. We'll open up the properties panel of the grouping. We're then going to zoom out of the grouping because I'm getting all sorts of stuck in here. There we go, zoomed out. And then grab this. And then we can grab this pill here, this group pill. Referencing it right here allows us animated, which is just fine. I do think we should make it non-collidable. This is going to make it a little bit more efficient on the server load. Like if you got to remember the final version of this world is going to be grab. Oh my gosh, it's going to be insane. I mean, who knows how many players we're going to have in here? It's just going to be an insanity of flower grabbing and picking. And so we really want to make sure that's functional. It looks like I accidentally zoomed this out of the grouping. See how it's selected? When you zoom out of a group or zoom into a group with something selected, it comes with you. So if I let go of it, I've brought it back into the group. We can then zoom out again. Awesome. Okay. So here's our flower petals. They've been referenced. The problem I have with these flower petals is, see this color here? This color is not going to stay because these are actually different colors. So what we need to do is take this color here and make it lighter, which I think we can do by making it a plastic. Excuse me. So to get our two-tone setup, which is what Oculus is doing up there, we're just setting it to be the same color, but we're adjusting the material type. And so this material, I'm going to set to be a metal tone. So we got plastic on those leaves, and we're going to do metal on this sleeve because metal darkens the color like a lot, like as you can tell, a lot. And now we have a very nice looking flower that's two-toned without using a different color. These are same color, different style. So I'm done here. We've got this all set up correctly. It's interactive, grabbable, scripts attached. I do want this to be a brighter flower, so I'm going to go ahead and go to a brighter tone here in the orange and try applying that here. Nope, I don't like that. We're going to stick there in the darker zone. That's nice. Okay. Whew. So grab, force released, and it becomes yellow, and it's blue. Look at that. That already pretty fun. Working. You can kind of glitch it out a little bit, but it's like already on its way to being an awesome game. It really needs the sound effect, the visual effect. It needs the delay, to be honest. It's fun, but the delay is really important because you don't want to just be stuck here doing this. You want to have like, I gotta get them all. So that delay is a very important aspect that we should start implementing right away. But you can see this is already working. The two tones looks pretty good. And yeah, let's see what the comments are saying. Thank you, Love More. Appreciate this. The laughing faces. Thank you. You guys are great. Cool. Okay, so we've got our flower set up. We need to go back into build mode. So pulling down on my joystick or thumbstick. And up here, we had previously defined our sound, our visual effect, and our text that we wanted to use. Back on our script, though, I want to get this I want this to be more fun. So what Victoria did was get ahead of us and create the motion. And now we're going to go back to what Lakes would do, which is going to be a little bit more fun. So we're going to bring our script, our code for visibility and collidability, bring that back into here. So we're going to set our visibility and collidability back to being false, put that right in here. I'm just giving you a hard time, Victoria. Totally appreciate you taking a step ahead and trying to figure it out on your own. I think that initiative helps with learning. So I'm totally the person who would do that as well. Okay, so now that we have our grab event and we know it's functional, what we want to do is make it happen later. And so if we go to, let's start on our variables tab because I want this variable to be a number delay. And so imagine your first delay is 1 second. So delay, number, set it to be 1 second. So I think we're going to, we're thinking about classic clicker games. If you just joined us, these are our flower tiers. We're thinking, okay, here's flower tier 1, here's flower tier 2. We're going to keep making more and more complex tiers of flowers. And then we'll have flower tier 3 and 4. Galactic's working on our final tier flowers down here. These are absolutely gorgeous. Like, I don't even know what to say. They're amazing. These are definitely like tier 3 in my book. So I'm going to go put these up here under tier 3 flowers. And, this is maybe tier 4. And then we've got our tier 5 coming along. If this is tier 5, perhaps the glowing kind of like magical flower almost. And so when we think about classic clicker games, which is kind of what we're going for here, when you're in tier 1, things are fast paced. It starts at 1 second, but you can upgrade it and all of a sudden it's instant, just like what we were seeing. But they're low reward, low value, right? Like, that tier 2, it's going to take a second to come back up, but it's always worth more points. So we're thinking about the exact same thing here, right? Like, it's going to take a little bit longer for tier 2 to grow, but you're going to grab tier 2 the moment it appears. Tier 3, same thing. It's more valuable than tier 2. Same with tier 4, same with tier 5. So maybe you see tier 5 growing. In fact, I think this is what we should do, right? We should have a growing mechanism. Like, let's start with growing from the get-go. And so this is something we didn't do with the first one that we looked at, but since we're like really investing in this flower, let's create growth. Flower growth is fantastic. And the way to create flower growth, let's go take a look at our flower here. If we look at this and see the center point, when you scale a flower, it's going to scale around this center here. So what we want to do is take this rod that represents the I don't even know what you call it, the shaft of the flower. We're going to zoom in and we're going to stretch it down so it's about double in size. So we want the center of the flower to be here in the ground, right? Maybe even more so it like comes out of the ground almost. So now the center is right there. I'm gonna actually move it up a little bit and up a little bit. Nice. So it is still gonna come out of the, oh, it's, never mind, up a little bit more. So it's still in the ground, but theoretically when it's done growing, it will be here. So you're gonna see this small little flower coming out of the ground. Should look really cool. So now that we've got this first flower designed, what we want to do is make it scale into its position. Ooh. I'm really getting ahead of myself. We really want to take this baby steps at a time, especially for newer scripters. So if you're a new scripter, please sound off in the comments. And you know, I do want to know what your like scripting level is. You know, how advanced is this for you? You guys, is this going at a pretty good pace? You guys wanting this faster, slower? Please let me know. Really want to make sure I'm helping as best as I can. And thank you, Cyber Jugs. Appreciate that. So what we need to think about next is, remember that delay we talked about? The delay is what's important. So we need to have a re-enable event. So under our events tab, that's the first one on the far left. Under events, you have when world is started and when event is received. When event is received is an ability to create custom events. These are all predefined events that you can use. They're super useful. I use them all the time, almost like 90% of the time, but custom events is where you take it to that upper tier. So this is where we're going to get into when event is received. Drag one of those over and put that right below when object is grabbed. Now, if you're ever having it where it doesn't let you place below, try putting it above and then just dragging it. I do want to quickly iterate or say here that the position of this doesn't actually matter. The reason I put mine in chronological order is because it's how my brain thinks, right? Like my brain is like, oh, this goes there, then this does this, and then this does this. And if I don't think about it like that, I just like, why in the world is this happening before I grab the object? Like, why is it placed like that? Because this script is happening on an event-based system. So this is an event, right? When object is grabbed is an event. When world is started is an event. And when this event is received is an event. And they don't have to happen in order, right? Like you could say when world is started, send my event to self, and now this is happening before the object is ever grabbed. Totally possible. Gummy bear. I don't know how loud that is, so apologies, but like, gummy bear. Now I'm imagining someone like recording that audio, playing it on full blast, recording it into something, and I walk into their world. They're like, hey, Lakes, I built you a gummy bear world because I know you love gummy bears. And I'm like eating a gummy bear because they're using the edible script, and it just goes, gummy bear. It's like my voice. And I'm like, who did that? I'd appreciate it, actually. I'd really appreciate it. I think it'd be really funny. The fan art, though, I love the fan art. Shout out to Zach, the artist, who did some art, and this guy on Twitter did some art of me. It's really weird, to be honest, getting fan art, but I really appreciate it. It's like really weird, but I really appreciate it. So thank you. Okay, so back over here, we have when object is grabbed. Sorry, I just got sidetracked and my brain's like million miles per hour. Gummy bear, gummy bear, gummy bear. Breathe. Now we've got when my event is received. My event is just the default name that an event gets. Thank you so much for emulating CRISPR. I appreciate that. So right here, it says move self to origin position, move self to origin rotation. We want this to happen later. So we're going to drag. Actually, that's not what we wanted to happen later, is it? Moving it back to the origin position, we do want to happen immediately. What we want to happen, though, is it to start growing and then re-enable. So this is like the re-enable event. So let's click on the drop-down and then click New Event and give this the name Re-enable. Now, re-enable is going to allow us to set visibility. So I'm going to grab this line. You'll note that I'm grabbing not from the self pill or the false pill, but from the center under visibility. I can then thumbstick to the right to duplicate. And when I let go, it returns back to its original position. And I'm going to do the same thing for collidability. So now we have set self visibility to false, set collidability to false, and we're then going to click on the Boolean input here to be from false to true. And then now we're setting visibility and collidability back to true. Okay. Sorry. Now, nose is like a little itchy. Breathe. Now that we've re-enabled it, wait, Did we re-enable it? No, we didn't actually. And you know why we didn't? Because we did not cause this event to go off. Remember, Horizon is an event-based system. Something has to happen for an event to happen. This re-enable isn't connected to anything. It's code that's there, but it's not functional. And to make it functional, what we're going to do is cause another event to make it happen. So under event actions, we have send event with delay. Go ahead and grab send event with delay. And we're going to place this under the rotate origin rotation. Now we're going to take send this to self after 1 second. And change the 1 second. So if we go back to our variables tab, you'll remember we created the delay variable, which allows us to eventually, what we're going to do is say set delay to be like 0.1, so it's much faster. And then we're going to grab delay, bring that over to the 1 second slot. And, you know, I actually kind of want to start the delay even slower because we're going to have this growth mechanism in here. I kind of want to start it more like 5 seconds because I think that's just going to make it a lot more fun in the long term. So it's going to take 5 seconds for it to regrow, and then send my event to self. Well, it's not my event we're sending the event re-enable to self. So click on the drop down, and now that we created the re-enable event, we can find that in here. There it is, re-enable. And now we're sending re-enable to self after delay. And we might be thinking to self, wait, we've been using self all over the place. Well, did you know you can actually send an event to another object? So say, for instance, you wanted 2 objects to talk to each other. Like maybe the flower petals have their own thing going in their head. They're like, oh yeah, things are great over here in flower petal land. And then you're like, yo, flower petals, I want you to do something else. And you could send an event to the flower petals. As long as they have a script attached, they can then do something with that event. So say you sent re-enable to the flower petals, re-enable on flower petals might cause it to do something else. Just some food for thought. Okay. So sending re-enable to self means this re-enable event is going to happen 5 seconds later. We're going to set visibility and collidability to true. And I've got this kind of thought in my head that we should delete the visibility one. And so, I think we should delete the visibility one, right? So set visibility to true. Let's go ahead and delete that. And then up here, we're going to delete it from false. So we're only going to set collidability. And you might be asking, well, why would you do that? Well, it's because we've moved the flower, we have rotated the flower, but you know what we haven't done? Under our motion tab, we haven't scaled the flower. So go ahead and grab scale 2, and we're going to place this under this rotation value here. Now we know that a flower, when it is spawned into the world, or excuse me, when a flower is grouped together. So when we grouped this flower earlier, we had, whenever an object becomes grouped, the scale is set to 1, 1, 1. Otherwise, when it's an individual object, like this object here, this is just a sphere, and its scale is based off of its width and height. So you can see it's 0.5 meter high, it's 3 meters wide, 3 meters deep. And so this one, because it's grouped, it just becomes 1, 1, 1. In fact, let's actually go set this to 1, 1, 1, so we can see what is the actual height of this flower. It looks like we had slightly adjusted it. And because we now have this flower at 1, 1, 1, we can kind of use that for now. And then what we want to see is what does this flower look like if, say, we set it to be 0.01, right? So 0.01, 0.01, and 0.01. So what if we start at 0.01? This is what it's going to, wow, that's really teeny. We're going to start here, and it's going to grow to that previous size. So I'm going to hit undo on my joystick here. There we go. So we're going to go to 1. Now back in our script, we can make this happen. So right here, we did scale self 2, and we have a vector value input, which we're going to set to be 0.01 and 0.01, 0.01. There we go. So we've now scaled the flower to 0.01. As we just saw, it's remarkably tiny, almost non-existent. Then what we want to do is under our motion tab, scrolling down to motion over time, we have scale 2 over time. We're going to just drag that over, place it right underneath self, and it's already going where we want, right? It's scaling to 1, 1, 1, which is where we know it wants to go. And the delay needs to be duplicated up. So we're going to thumbstick to the right to duplicate the delay. Voila, we've done it. We have our flower that grows to the appropriate size. It re-enables at that exact moment, and then it resets, and it does it again and again and again. We do need to add scoring to this, but I kind of want to test it out. And to make sure this is a fun experience, you know you're going to have a lot more than one flower in your starting flower patch. So we're going to go ahead and add 4 of these. Oculus is super excited. Look at him. He is already over here. Ooh, he is raring. He's tearing. He has no idea he's on mute, or he does know he's on mute. He's just super respectful. So is Victoria, you guys are awesome. And look at all those flowers. Plenty of flowers for us to play with. And let's make sure, Galactic, did you actually follow along with that whole thing? I just want to make sure that this was easy enough for everybody to follow. Yeah? She froze. Oh, we're good. Yeah? Sweet. Okay. Whew. Before you grab.
I think I got it.
Okay, good. I'm checking everybody else. Everybody else looks like they're doing good over there. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and grab. Oh, look at that coming in. Oh, yeah. See that? That is the start of an extremely fun game mechanic. And we don't have points built in yet, but look at those things grow, right? Like,
Oh,
what? Oculus is like, wait, there's no points. I'm out. But that's so cool. And the flowers with different colors, amazing. So look at, this is like flower bed number 1, right? So imagine you buy your first flower, then you buy your second flower, then your third, then your fourth, and so on and so forth. And you continue until you've filled the entire flower patch. This is one part of the game. Then there's upgrades and there's fertilizers you can buy for this flower patch. Then we duplicate this over, we build a second flower patch. That's your tier 2, then your tier 3, and then your tier 4, and your tier 5. And so you might imagine that you go to your tier 5, every like few minutes, whereas here you could be here all day. Maybe your tier 2, you get it leveled up fast enough. Woo, this is good. This is good. I just remember there's some other things we need to do, but this is exciting. What's you saying, Oculus?
what if we randomized where they grew from instead of it always being in rows?
This guy thinks I can do anything for him. Okay, we can do that. Oh gosh, Oculus, of course you would ask that. Oh man, okay, I can do this. Thinking in my head real quick. So the first thing we need to think about is we want the flowers to rotate randomly. We also want them to position randomly. Both of those things are extremely important. So to do this, we need to know the center position of this sphere. This sphere is the center that these are all growing from. If you look at this sphere's center, which is right there, right? There's the blue. And then look at this one. They're basically in the same position. So if we know that this sphere represents our center, we can then utilize its position. And so while we could type the numbers in manually, this would be my, I would never do this in a script because references mean you can duplicate the entire patch of flowers and it'll retain its reference, right? And then you don't have to retype any numbers ever again. So this is our reference. We only need one of these flowers for now, and then we'll come back and duplicate them in a second. So goodbye, flowers. Okay, and now on our main flower, we want to go to our variables tab where we're going to grab a new variable. This is going to be called, let's see. This is going to be an object variable, and this is going to be called the dirt. The dirt, please. Make sure to include the, that's important. It's really not. And so the dirt's going to represent our center position. We're going to come back to using this in a second. Oculus is really making this a little bit more complex, but I'm going to take it really slow so you guys can follow along. And honestly, what we're about to learn here is going to just revolutionize the way you write scripts, because using references, using randomization, it completely levels up your scripts, making them so much more fun. So let's start with something really simple, right? So the first thing we want to do is set it to a random rotation. Right here, we rotated to the origin position. If we take origin rotation, we can add an additional value. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this line. Often when I want to do something additional, I thumbstick to the right to duplicate the line, delete the old line so I can still use that value. We're going to head to operators. At the top of operators, we have plus. Drag plus into the rotation input here. Then we're going to bring down origin rotation back into the A slot, and we're going to delete this one here. I'm trying to remember if origin rotation goes in the first or the second slot. I'm pretty sure it goes in the first slot. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Take that back. It goes right here. Yes, that's right. Okay, so rotations are really weird. So we want this to rotate in world space. If you put origin rotation to the left, it rotates in local space. Now, because our flower happens to be aligned, oh, it's not even aligned to the world. See, the Y value here, if we rotated it around the Y, man, I told you rotations are weird. These are literally 4D numbers, literally 4-dimensional numbers, crazy stuff. So anyway, you got this. This is the Y value here, but the world's Y value is here. And so if you add the origin rotation here in this A slot, it adds it to its local rotation and rotates this way. But if you add it in the B slot and add the rotation to the A slot, it'll rotate around the world rotation. I know it's crazy. I'm going to do a quick demo to explain this because I think it's really worth understanding. So normally when we think of, addition, right? So addition is like, oops, redo. Addition is normally like 1 + 1 = 2. 1 + 2 = 3. Like we all know addition, but rotations are weird because imagine you have, this is your object that you want to rotate, and this represents what we're going to do to rotate. So we're going to rotate it 90 degrees, and then we're going to rotate it 90 degrees like that. So we have two rotations we want to apply to it. So we're going to rotate 90 to the right and then 90 this way. So if I take this rotation here, this guy here, and we rotate it 90 degrees to the right, okay? And then we're going to rotate it 90 degrees to this way, right? Voila, that's one rotation. Now I'm going to hit undo and undo. And now we're going to reverse this. So we're going to do this one. So if we put this into our script panel like this, we take this and we rotate it this Hey guys,
We're
so
back.
sorry about that. I got it fixed now.
back.
Thank you so much for commenting. Was not aware that that happened. I'm so sorry, but thank you so much for commenting. So we got that fixed. I'm fixing the display right now back to 1080 by 1080. Oh yeah, there we go. So now you should be able to see what we're doing, hear what we're doing. Let me check the comments. Woo! Thank you, Carlos. Sorry about that, you guys. Oh my goodness. This commercial break brought to you by Vidyuu. Lol. Let's see. Oh, I think it broke. Thank you guys so much for the comments. Okay, so great to be back. So sorry about that, but I wanted to quickly catch us back up. So I'm not sure where we lost out in the stream. Carlos, do you think you can quickly check back and see where we cut out? I think we're in rotations, right?
All right.
That was my
You
guess.
muted or are you back?
You guys can please comment. That would be great too. I'm not sure if I can rewind to see. Oh, I can a little bit. Okay, it looks like maybe I finished with rotations. Maybe. I remember seeing the thing go down and I was duplicating, showing how it was different. Okay. So I guess I'll do it very quickly one more time. So if you guys didn't catch that or if you're just getting back in, what we did was we looked at
You're muted in
rotations.
here or something. I can't hear you.
Yeah, the gosh, I gotta go back and restart it. Okay.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Okay. One moment, I'll be right back. Basically, I have to
Yes, he knows he's muted.
close Horizon. So we quit Horizon. Casting should stay enabled. So if you guys have had this bug, if you're casting at all and you lose your audio, you have to close Horizon, reopen Horizon. Oh my goodness, what a pain. Unfortunately, fortunately, they are aware of it, so hopefully it'll get fixed. Thank you, Lovemore. Appreciate it. Gummy bear. So good. All right, we're back. Little Wendy's pop up on the left, which is hilarious. Oh, hi. Look at my hair. That's what I was talking about earlier. I like it. I like it. All right, we're heading to Flower Picker. Woo! Throw some confetti. Woo! All right. Back. Oh yeah. So I think this rotation is super important. Like really, really important to understand. It's really hard to understand, and I don't even fully understand it, which is kind of what I was saying. But we'll do our best. Yes. So sorry about that. I knew I was like, I knew I had lost audio because.
We heard you.
Oh yeah, you guys are like, we got the stream. Hey. So what I did before you guys left is I set it to do random rotation.
So you left off.
See how it's coming up at a random rotation? Pretty cool. But let's show you how we did that. Okay. So the important thing to note here is how do rotations work? So if this represents being straight and this is like this, we're going to take this and have a bigger copy here. This is the one we're rotating. And we're going to have one here and one here. And then we're going to say, what happens if we rotate it to the right like that? And then rotate it down like that. Okay, so those are our two rotations. And then what we're gonna do is then duplicate it, slide this over, and then we're gonna try doing it in the reverse. So typically, like in math class, we all remember that 1 + 1 = 2, 2 + 1 = 3, et cetera, et cetera. In rotations, that's not the case, especially when you're working with rotarians. And so these are not cumulative. So it depends on the order. So if you apply this rotation to this one, and then rotate it this way 90 degrees, and then we do the same thing. Remember, these start in the same position. Now we rotate it this way 90 degrees, and then rotate it this way 90 degrees. Look how different these results are. The results are incredibly different. And so it's very important to know that the order does matter when you're applying rotation values. So now that you can see this, what we're going to go ahead and do is delete this, head back into our script, and I'm going to show you what we did in here. And so I'm going to just duplicate this and start from the beginning. So what we did is we were saying rotate self 2, and so I'm going to delete this one here. And so under our motion tab, we grabbed rotate 2, and then we need a new rotation. So under our operators tab, scrolling down to our vector math, at the bottom you'll find a new rotation from XYZ. We're going to drag that over into here. Now for our pitch and roll, we only rotate around the world's y-axis. Oh, I just remembered something that I forgot in here. And so when I forget, what I like to do is duplicate this and then delete the old one, head back to the top operators. We need the plus symbol. So we're going to put the plus here. We need origin. Oh, excuse me. We had rotate 2 from before. That's right. I remember now. Excuse me. And so we had origin rotation previously. So you put that into the B slot, and we were looking at how does if you put it in A versus B. The correct answer is it goes into B here. Then we take new rotation from XYZ, which we got at the vector math section here. And we can now delete this old one. So now we have new rotate self 2, new rotation plus origin rotation. Now our pitch and roll, we're not going to adjust it at all. We're only going to rotate around the world's y-axis. So we're going to grab 0, thumb sticking to the right here and here. You can get that from up here or from the values tab, where we're going to also find number inputs, which is where we get those numbers. Now back on our operators tab, scrolling up, you're going to find random number. Now we don't need random number with decimals like we used before. We need random number here. And so this is a random integer. Now random integers are going to be whole numbers between 0, and because this goes so high, we don't really need non-integer numbers like decimals. We're going to type in 360. And so now we have 360 random options for rotation on this flower, and we can delete our previous line. Well, I can delete my previous line. Now you guys have the new line. And so to quickly reiterate, we're rotating self to a new rotation that's 0, random number between 0, 360, 0 plus the origin rotation. So now what's going to happen is every time the flower spawns in, it'll be at a different rotation. That randomness is amazing. Now remember, we were moving self to this origin position, but because we have a relative, we have a flower plot that gives us a relative direction, what we can then do is not move to the origin position. In fact, we don't even need to save origin position anymore, which is kind of hysterical. So we're going to go ahead and delete origin position. Sorry, origin position. We're going to save origin rotation on our variables tab. I recommend deleting variables that you stop using as soon as possible. It brings out any bugs, right? So like here we're using origin position, so we can go ahead and delete it. Where we're actually moving to is going to be another addition. So back here at the top of our operators, we have basic operations. Grab the plus symbol, putting that into the position. So just like we did for rotation, where we added 2 values together, we're going to do that here, but we're not going to do with the, oh, I'm so sorry. Go ahead and hit undo. Undo, 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 and undo. Origin position's back. Okay. I just realized something. We did position of self, but remember we created that reference earlier for the dirt? The dirt is the origin position. That's the position we're starting at, right? And then we want to add something to that. Okay, so why are we doing it this way rather than using position of later? We could have grabbed position of and put it into our plus symbol down here. I'm going to go ahead and delete this. But by defining this origin position at the beginning of the world, it's one less calculation when this gets to be crazy busy. Remember, we're thinking tens of flowers being grabbed per second. It's going to be a madness. So I'm really excited, and I really want to make sure that this is as efficient as possible. And a 3-number value like XYZ is far more efficient than trying to calculate the position of the dirt. So now that we have this XYZ, we can then move self to, and then remember we were grabbing that plus symbol. So go back and grab the plus symbol from the top of the operators. And then this time it doesn't matter which way we order this. So I'm going to put origin position in the A slot this time. And then in the B slot, we're going to go to our operators tab, scrolling back down to the same vector math. At the top, you'll see new vector from XYZ. New vector from XYZ is going to allow us to adjust where the origin position is. So if we think about this as kind of like a position in space, right? So this spot here represents a position. This is the center position. Well, this is the center position of this dirt. And so I'm going to raise it up out of the ground so you can kind of think about it in a 3-dimensional space. We don't need to affect, if we know the center point is perfectly in line with our flower, we don't need to affect the up and down. This is our y-axis. We can delete that. We just need to affect the x and z axes. We want to move it randomly along those axes. And so thinking about that, we can then head into our new vector from x, y, z, placing 0 into the y slot because we don't want to affect the up and down. Now the x and the z are going to be the same because this is a circle. Now we can measure this circle, but earlier you'll remember we opened it up, we looked at the scale, and as I mentioned, The object scale is based off of the scale of the object itself in meters. And so when it says 3 meters by 3 meters, we know that it's a 3-meter radius. Now, if we had to go 1.5 meters this way and 1.5 meters that way, it would put us way out here. So we actually want to do this by maybe 1 meter, so it stays on the inside circle of this. So we're going to go ahead and say 1 meter. So we're looking at the radius, right? So 3 divided by 2, the radius is 1.5. We don't want it to go into this corner by, on a random chance. And so we're going to say random number with decimals between negative 1 and positive 1. So this one up here is actually really, really close. So I'm going to just grab this random number from Color Me, duplicate it into the Z, and then set this value to be -1 rather than 0. And then duplicate. So remember, when you grab, you can thumbstick to the right to duplicate. And now we have our position is now random. So yeah, the Galactic's like, that was hard to follow. Please show me again. I'm sorry. Anybody else doing have any problems or questions? Would be more than happy to re-show anything that anybody's getting stuck on. I'm going to quickly take a look at Galactics and we'll see where you're at.
Yeah, can you?
No worries. Okay, so, oh, you're really close. Really close. So we got rotate self. Oh, pretty close as well. So this is where we need to use that random number. So go ahead and go to your operators tab. And so under operators, you're going to find random number, which is where we're going to put this into the, let's start with the rotation one here. So it's 0, random number 0.
Oh, okay. So 0.
Perfect. And
Like that?
exactly. And then we'll put 0 in the minimum value and 360 in the maximum value. So that way our rotation is always somewhere between 0 and 360. Random numbers, you guys, are so much fun. The guy earlier who suggested we do the golds like shiny chance, I love that idea. I don't know how to make it gold because our flowers aren't designed to be like metal tones. But it would be really cool to set up some sort of shiny variant where it's like, remember, all of our flowers are bright because we've set our value and saturation to be 100%. So maybe making it like a darker tone flower, like the death or decay flower, and it's like this super shiny variant. Like that might sound really dark and ominous, but I just kind of love that idea of having a shiny. It's like all of our flowers are bright and colorful, and then
Cool.
1 in 1,000 is like, what? That cloud right there. Let's give me a close up. How far do I have to go? Oh my gosh, you're so far away. Anyway, love these KO clouds. They're amazing. Okay, so zooming back in here. Now that you've got that set up, you're really close. The thing is with your move to, you've got it backwards. We only want to affect the X and Z values, not the Y value. And we also don't want to use random integer. So go ahead and delete the one in the center, and then I'll show you what we did there. So we put 0 into the Y slot. Perfect. And then up here, we had random between 0 and 1. Go ahead and duplicate that into the X and Z slots and type -1 to 1. And so the difference between random between and random integer, so you got random integer again. So we want to make sure it's the random between, the one that's above in the color slot.
Oh,
No worries. It's okay. So the difference is that a random integer is only going to return whole numbers. So if you do -1 to 1, you're only going to get -1 and 0. You'll never get a value of anything else because it's exclusive of the top. But random decimal is going to give you all of the decimals between the top, the bottom, and the top. So we want to say -1 and 1, and then duplicate that into the Z slot. So you got that in the X. We also need that in the Z. Perfect. So if anybody else is having trouble, please let me know what your questions you have. And so Galactic, I just want to show you what that visually looks like. So right here, this is the reference object we're using. This is our reference, right? And so we're choosing a random position, -1 to 1. So that's from here to here. And then we're choosing it from here to here. So that ends up being a giant square like this. So that all the flowers will be in that square. Yeah. Pretty cool. It does mean they can grow on top of each other. We're not going to be able to change that, but it's kind of neat.
I think.
Now, I wanted to quickly check your script just to see if you got some of the other small little things that we did in there. So at the top, you had set origin position to position of self. We're actually using position of the dirt. So if you want to drag the dirt object variable over. Yep. So we're no longer using position of self for origin position. And this is because, well, for origin rotation, we are. Origin rotation is still self. Sorry. Yep. And so the reason we're using the dirt is because that's a good reference point for us to create our calculation from, whereas the origin position of self isn't always going to be in the center of the flower patch. Okay. So now that we've got that, we've got force release, set collidability, good job. Color's good. Color, nice. Moving, rotation's good. Scaling's good. You have scale to self over 1 second, but we actually want to use the same delay of 5 seconds that you'd set up. So that way we can adjust the speed at which it grows. So you can imagine one day it does get to be 1 second or even half a second or even 0.1 seconds. These flowers are just looks so cool. It's going to look so cool. But for now, we're going to use the 5 second delay there. So that's perfect. By using that variable, we can adjust it later. So that's why we're using a variable here. And re-enable sets collidability to true, which means you can grab it again. Perfect. Great job. Your script is good. So if you want to grab any flower from up there, and we're going to go ahead and set it up. So go ahead and try setting yours up. I'm going to set mine up. And we just got a little bit left to do. So I'm going to go grab this dirt. And so you remember how we did referencing before. We grab from this pill here at the bottom right of the properties panel for the dirt. Then we're going to go reference that to the empty pill here. And when we release, it fills it in. You can see there's a little cable tied there to show you what it's referencing. And with that set up, what we want to do is duplicate a few copies of this. And it doesn't matter where we place them since it's going to, well, the height kind of matters, but since it's going to be random every time, it kind of doesn't matter. So I'll go ahead and, oops, wanted to duplicate that. Oh, and I rate it. That's fine. This is fine. Everything's fine. Okay, perfect. So I've got my 4 flowers here. Oculus is getting excited, but we haven't put in score. We're getting to that, don't worry. And now we're going to go ahead and try it out. So grabbing this flower. And look at that, random position, random spot. Grab all these flowers and they all come back in different spots. Neato. That is so cool. Great suggestion, Oculus.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that feels so much more organic. Now,
What can I say?
your flower does need to have some references set up. Galactic, I should probably check. I just got too excited. Like, yes, we did it.
Yeah, I haven't set up anything.
No worries.
It must be her internet connection.
Oh, Oculus, you knock it off. You're such a bully. So from the drop down, you're going to want to attach your script. You're also going to want to, yeah, I'm going to follow along with Galactic so you guys can see this too. So what we want to do is open the properties panel. We're going to attach the Galactic script. Live streaming is so much fun in Horizon World. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I am okay. I'm switching us back 1080.
Yeah,
Boom.
Oculus, if you can hear me.
Yo.
Oculus, rather.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna take a bathroom break real quick, and then I will be
Okay.
right back. Okay.
All right.
Everybody heard that.
I'll tell him your internet cut out.
Does he know I can't hear them? They have no idea I can't hear them. That's so funny. Okay, so we're good there. We're back. I'm so sorry again about that, you guys.
Alone picking flowers.
No idea why that's happening. We'll have to look into better methods. Okay. So here we are, back again. Resuming. So we're looking at our scripts here. We're looking for the one by Galactic. There it is, Galactic Flower Picker. So now we've attached the Galactic script. So if you're attaching your script for the first time, you're gonna need to make sure it's interactive. You're gonna wanna make sure it's grabbable. We're not using physics on this. The dirt,
So,
we
yeah,
need to
we won't
reference
hear
the
your
dirt
voice
just
in
like
row
we
for
saw.
now.
Okay, no. He's like, I know. So this is the dirt. So we need to reference that. So remember, again, we grab from the pill here, drag that over to the empty slot. Then we need to reference the flower petals. Oh, and then we want to make sure this is not animated because we're not animating that sphere. And then we're going to zoom in, select the petals. There we go. Open up the properties panel of the petals. We'll go ahead and double click to zoom out or use the button on the properties panel again. And then here, we're going to set this to be non-collidable. We're going to grab the grouping, drop it into the empty slot for the flower petal. Now that we've referenced the flower petals, it's now animated, which is perfect. And it should work. Oh, wait, one more thing. We forgot to make this extra long. So remember, we made the flower shaft here extra long, so that way it would grow and the center. There we go. Nice. And we'll go ahead and zoom out, close, and let's go ahead and try this out real quick. I'm going to make sure it's at the same height as our other flowers, and then we'll duplicate, copy. That's fine. Okay. So now that we got that, we'll double check that it works. Nice, nice. And look at there they come. Fantastic.
Oh, flowers, they look so good.
Yep. So Galactic's gonna need to try testing that out for herself.
You can't grab that one though.
But
Must be
I'm
a
very happy with
decoy.
that. I think those flowers could be a little bit taller. They're not
Set me
bad.
up with the decoy legs.
I don't know what he's saying. Oh yeah, that's a fakey fake. Don't worry, that'll get working. But yeah, these are cool.
Tricky.
These are really cool. Okay, so let me go see if we're missing anything. Everybody's doing good. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments. I think we got pretty much everything with the flowers growth sequence set up, which is nice. I think it's time that we start working on the scoreboard, right? So we're going to go set up leaderboards. And so the first thing I want to do is head to the settings page, leaderboards, delete these. Do I delete them? Is there a way to clear these? I can rename them. Don't have an option to clear them. Maybe reset variables. Yes. Okay, all player persistent variables have been reset. Don't seem to have an option to do that in here on leaderboards, so I have to kind of delete them. Since we haven't used them yet, I'm going to go ahead and just delete them and click new again. So these are going to be called flowers picked. And then we'll do another one called session FP for flowers picked. Great. There we go. So if you weren't here at the beginning, what we're doing is we're going to have an all-time leaderboard. So that's this one here for leaderboard flowers picked. And then we're going to do top pickers global. And then we're going to do, make sure that's globals in parentheses, actually. I just like the way it looks when it's in parentheses. So global in parentheses, close. And then we got to do the same thing over here. Reference the new one. So session flowers picked. Okay, so now these are empty. Perfect. We've reset the player persistent variables. So the next thing to do is to go into our script and make it functional. Oh, I also want to make sure these go in.
Stream, so.
These are really important to get these connected. Yeah, sorry guys. I didn't want to, I know you're going to hear me later, but I didn't want to have to go back to my personal space if it was going to keep happening. So sorry about that. Okay. Oh, but I do want Galactic to be able to follow along. So it only takes a minute. Okay, sorry guys, we're gonna do a quick detour. Definitely ask your questions. Tell me how you guys are going. If you're working on this right now, please shout it out in the comments. And we're gonna go ahead and have to close the app. So we hit the quit on the app button. We're still streaming. Yay for streaming. And now we're gonna go to Horizon Worlds and reopen it. A little tedious, but at least they'll be able to hear me, which honestly I didn't even think was possible. So this is exciting because now, like, I was in Horizon and live stream it on Wednesday. Now I can, which is going to be cool. So I might have to do that this Wednesday. It depends on how my headspace is. Sometimes I just get really worn out during the week. Busy job, that's all. Okay. Hi again. All right, editing the flower picker world. Here we go. Yes. This is definitely the green thumb session. I love that. Thank you, Love More.
I was on mute saying he's on his way back.
I am
but
back.
Here he is.
Yay. Yes, I love these flowers. I want to add score really bad. Tactic, I need you to set this up. I just showed the stream how to set it up, so I'm pretty sure you know how to set it up. And then since I know you know this next bit too, the next bit is that we're going to be referencing those visual effects, sound effects, and teleporting them and playing them. And I'm pretty confident you got that script down pat. So I'll let you. Oh, you added physics. That's hysterical. Sorry, I think I messed it up. I don't even see it anymore. Oh, because I grabbed it. It's sorry, I messed it up. I'm terrible.
That's my bad.
No, totally on me.
They have physics.
Hers had physics. Yeah, it was funny. It just like fell over. It was pretty great. Yeah, and so don't forget to make this stem extra long too. So yeah, what we're gonna do now, while Galactic's working on her flower,
Do you need a sound for the flowers?
is we're adding sound effects, we're adding visual effects, we're adding this. This is literally what makes it fun, which is why I'm doing it before adding score, because it's got to be fun before you even think about score. It really does. If it's not, it's just not worth doing. And so when the object is grabbed by a player, when we're force releasing it, we need to make sure to play this sound. So under, let's start on variables. We're going to create three object variables, excuse me. So we're going to create 3 object variables. We're going to create one called, let's see, sound effects, so SFX, sound effects. We're going to create another one called visual effects. These are object variables, VFX. And then the last one is going to be a text object. So this will be a TXT, not TNT, TXT. So we've got, and not the Korean band, although they are pretty good. So we've got TXT, VFX, and sound effects. And so what we want to do is move these into position. So wherever the flower's at, we want to move them right to that place. So under our motion tab, we're going to grab move to. We're going to duplicate this 3 times at the top of when object is grabbed. And we're not moving self. So I'm going to delete these out of here. And we're not using this either. So I'm going to just delete these. Normally I'd replace over, but I just wanted to show it empty so we can kind of see the progress as we fill it out. And now we're going to go to our variables tab and drag over sound effect, visual effect, and TXT. Now the position is position of, so this one that we used at the world start, it's also found under the operators tab under objects. You can duplicate it if you want, but I'm going to go ahead and grab a fresh copy under object transform. And where are we moving to? The position of self, that's the flower. So we're moving to the position of the flower. And then we're going to thumbstick to the right to duplicate this 2 times. And now we have 3 position ofs. So we have position of, and this is going to move it into those positions. Now, you might remember me saying earlier, efficiency, oh my gosh, what happens if we like mess this up? We should actually create a variable for this. So we're going to click new variable. And it's going to be a vector called current position. The reason this is important is so that you don't have lag, right? Like you don't want lag. So this is going to help us alleviate some lag. So we drag set2 over. Then we're going to our variables tab, grabbing the current position vector variable. Remember, vector means it's a position. It's X, Y, Z actually. Vectors can be more than just positions, but in our case today, we're just using position vectors. We're then going to drag position of self up into the value slot. We can delete these 2 by pulling down on our thumbstick to delete. We can then grab this one and thumbstick to the right to duplicate into all 3 slots. There we go. So now we set the current position to be position of self and then use it in these 3 positions. This is pretty much free to set a variable. So when you're setting a variable, do that as much as you want. You don't have to, right? Like you can use position of self, but if you know your thing's going to be rapid, fast moving, and you're going to use this value multiple times, I highly encourage you to create variables that you can use throughout your script. Okay, so there we go. We've set the current position. We've moved to the new, we've moved to that position. And the next thing we need to do is play the sound effect, play the visual effects, and update the text. And so we're going to go to our actions tab, scroll down about halfway where you're going to find play sound. And I'm going to put these in line with the motion itself. So that way it's kind of easy to follow what's happening. So we got play sound, play visual effect, and then we have display text right there. Perfect. So these are all from the Actions tab, and I'm putting them one underneath the other. And so we're moving sound effect to the current position, and then we need to play sound not on self, but sound effects. So I grab sound effects, thumb stick to the right, and when I let go, it returns to where it was previously grabbed. It doesn't matter where I let go of it. It'll always return back to where it came from. And we're going to do the same thing with the visual effect. So we move visual effect, then we play visual effect, and then the text is like, we're moving it, but we want to display the text on the text. So again, thumb sticking to the right. And what are we displaying for now? We're just going to type in +1. We're going to write a script later, but for now, it's just going to display +1 on the text. Perfect. So with that, these flowers should be like a lot more fun. There's no number to put on it. It's just going to be so much more fun. So we open this up. We're going to delete all the flowers except for one of them. And I've selected all of them. So there we go. Wait, I did this backwards. Oh gosh. Let's try again. Okay, select all but one. There we go. And done. And we haven't deleted anything over there. Oh, hi, Galactic. And now we're going to open up the properties panel here and reference these values into here. So just as we've been doing quite a few times, we're going to go ahead and do that. Go ahead and turn that off. And then grab this one. Let's stick to the right. Make sure this is closed. And this is our twinkle sound effect. So drag the twinkle into the sound effects empty slot. And then we'll go ahead and do that for the visual effect. Remember, when you press and hold your thumbstick in, that's how you open it as well. But if you press and hold, it'll follow your face around a little bit and kind of resize, which is nice. Then we're going to grab the prototype particle effects, put that under visual effects. Is that a cat? Did I hear a kitty? Oh, nope, it's a wife. Hi, kitty kitty. I mean, wife, what? Gosh, it's going to sound like I'm into bestiality or something. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Oh my God.
Oculus is being out. I shouldn't have said anything. I don't know what to say. I love cats. Not in that way. Oh my gosh. Yes, please. Okay, so we grabbed our text and we also referenced our text into the text slot. And now that everything is referenced, this should work. And so we just need to test this one time. We'll go ahead and give it a test. Hey, but because we're moving it in the same instance, it seemed to move to where it was going to, not where it was grabbed. This is quite problematic. Like, that is really problematic. And so we have a couple options here. We can either move in a different event, or we can calculate a different position to move to. And I think calculating a different position to move to is going to be what we want to do. So think about it. If someone grabs it in their hand, it should be in the position of their hand. So how are you guys doing out there? I know this has been a long class. Thanks for laughing. Appreciate that. So I know this has been a long class, but I kind of want to do something that it's pretty valuable. I think it's going to unlock a few things for you. Basically, we have to calculate which hand grabbed. Oh, that's not even possible. Ugh, because the values are so wrong. Ugh, I don't know what to do. Oh gosh. What are we doing?
Does I might be completely wrong, but does grab lock, would that help?
No.
Oh no, because then it's locked to your hand.
Yeah.
So
Well, we're force releasing it, so that wouldn't do anything. Good ideas. But what we really need to do, so like what they really should add as a feature would be like, which hand grabbed? Like when it's grabbed by a player, it should say, this is the hand that grabbed. This is the position that it was grabbed. Like those would be really valuable things to receive. Even just grab a hand. Like, so it would say Boolean true if it's right-handed, or, you know, false, right? Like that by itself would solve half the problem. But because we can't know, like say I grab it here. So say I'm standing here in the middle of the flower patch. I grab it here with my right hand, and then it teleports over to, say, the left hand. Oh, it did. It would calculate the distance and say, well, it's closer to the left. Oh, are we still connected? Cat just jumped on the computer. I said I love cats. Apparently he came running. We're good. Okay, make sure he doesn't rip there.
Yeah, Alex, I got a couple sounds over here for you in case you want them, but I'm gonna hop
Okay, yeah, no worries. Thanks,
So,
Oculus.
later, stream.
Bye. So the
Yeah,
point is, if we were to try and calculate
we
which
go.
hand is closer, it would never be accurate because by the time it's done calculating, the position is wrong. Like the position is just wrong.
There
Um,
we go.
and so the only way to do this that I can think of correctly is to separate this into a different frame. And I didn't want to do this because of some of the we'd had earlier with the timing of things, but this is okay. This is going to be fine. As long as you aren't Galactic Victoria, you will not have any bugs. And I'm just teasing. Basically, she's on some really, really slow internet that's causing some crazy lag. And that lag is literally messing the server up with the script. So as long as you are, on a normal internet connection, you probably won't have any issues. So remember how we're sending re-enable? Let's go back to our events tab where we have when event is received. Let's drag that over as well. Put that above re-enable. And then we're going to grab send event to object, not with a delay. We're just sending it straight to the object, no delay. I'm going to put that above re-enable inside of here. And this event is going to be called, I don't know, we'll call it instant because we want this to happen instantly. So instant, click confirm, drop down. We should be able to find the instant event or not. So I'll type it again. Oh, there it is. Okay, so instant here, instant. Oh no, I put it in the wrong spot. And instant here, there we go. So this is send instant to self immediately when instant is immediately received, which should be about 0.1 seconds later. There is a slight delay there, but it's very, very minimal. We're gonna then drag our scale to down into instant. We're gonna grab our scale to here down. We're gonna grab, well, actually we can do that up here, that's fine. Rotate to, we need to do that down here. Move to, let's actually do the scale to down here as well. We'll just move all of this kind of motion stuff down here. Recoloring, that can happen up here, that's fine. Set collidability to false, yeah, that's all good. So all we've done is move the move to, rotate to, and scale to into this slightly delayed event, which means in this event, when it's calculating the position, it will not have already moved to this position because all of this stuff that happens when object is grabbed is happening instantaneously. There's no delays in here. This is all like literally happening within the exact same frame. So 1/60th of a second, all of this has happened. And it's like, I'm already moved to this position. That's my current position. It's like, I tried to do that before you, but you already know. Anyway, so the order of this sometimes matters. In this case, it didn't. But now because we've moved it down into a separate event, it should be good. Let me know if you have any questions on that. Somehow I accidentally stepped back on the stream. Let's get back over here so I can see your comments. And definitely let me know if you have any questions. Everything looks good on the stream itself. Nice. Woo. Let's see. All right, cool. Ooh, wife's asking what to do for food. So my vote earlier was for pizza because I have a $3 coupon that expires today. But to be honest, if I was doing pizza, I kind of want Papa Murphy's. I want to see, what's your favorite pizza? Please comment that right now. I would love to know what your favorite place is for pizza. Domino's is giving me $3 coupon every week and I just can't stop because I love coupons. But at the same time, I love Papa Murphy's.
Domino's.
Which one?
Domino's thin crust
Ooh.
pizza, pepperoni for sure.
Oh yeah, so good. And D4 has his own favorite pizza, I'm sure, because I know D loves pizza. D, are you still here? I know you love pizza. And I know what you'd say, and I'm glad you're not here because you get us demonetized. Let's see. But that's the pizza route. Because on the other hand, I had some really good Chinese food yesterday. I should say Asian food. I'm so sorry. I just mean, really good food. And yeah, baby loved it too. Oh yeah. Yeah. So do you want to do Asian again? Because they're open on Sunday, right? No, you don't know? So like, I'm really having a struggle here. You guys need to tell me, what are we doing? What are we doing? Oh my gosh. So quick funny throwback to the beginning of this stream. Ooh, Little C's, great suggestion. At the beginning of the stream, it said PSY, and I was like, CSY, that's a great band. Well, I realized just now why it said that. I had a little comment for myself when it went live. It comments, PS, you're live. And it was supposed to be a funny joke for y'all to see, but because it was cut off on the right, it just said PSY. And I was like, yeah, that's a funny band. Don't know why it's saying that. No, I get it. Anyway, so what do you think, Kale? Pizza or Asian food again? pizza because it's fast. Do as much as I want. We've had it for 4 weeks straight. Once a week, she says. Feels like more. Weeks just blended. Okay, we're gonna do Papa Murphy's, and I think we're gonna do the bacon chicken ranch. That thing is so good. Yeah. Oh, she wants the meatza. Meatza? Okay, get the meaty. That's fine. I can eat that. Cool beans. Okay, we've just served dinner. Woohoo. Let's hop back into it. Also, I want to hear more pizza places. You guys feel free to comment this stuff down here. I really enjoy pizza. One of my favorite places in Seattle does a really good mock Chicago style deep dish. It's got like the really nice caramelized crust and everything. It's an hour drive away from us, and I will literally make the drive for their super expensive pizza. And because I want pizza to be at its finest, I will eat it in the car, and it's so good. It's so good. Anyway, so please shout out your favorite pizzas, types, etc. I am salivating already. Thank you, Kale. Okay, so if you're following with the script again, please let me know if you have any questions. Is Papa Murphy's local? No, it's not actually. It's a pretty big chain over here in the Pacific Northwest. I'm surprised that you haven't heard of that, but we're on the West Coast, so I guess things are really quite different from coast to coast. That's for sure. They're a take and bake, so you grab the pizza and you take it home and cook it. It's kind of nice because it's always fresh. You don't have to worry about like the time it takes to get home, or like, did you eat it like right away? It's like, oh, it's ready when you are ready. So it's nice. Okay, don't forget to add pineapple. I'm gonna make my stream angry. I love pineapple. I love pineapple on pizza. I'm sorry. I can't help it. Okay, so did it work? Did it work, Galactic? You just tested it out and I haven't tested it. Did it work? You're like, let's test it. You did all this work. Oh, I can't tell because you're so laggy. I'm sorry. I couldn't. Oh, no, it's not working. Darn. Oh.
I think it. No.
Okay. So what we're seeing here is that this instant might be too fast. It's actually happening instantly. So let's go with send event with delay, and we'll send it with a 0-second delay. So take this drop down, select instant, delete the old instant, and type 0 into here. Yes, you can type 0. Oh man, this is going to drive me nuts. Let's see. I'm sure we can get this. Script, stop, and play. And here goes nothing. No, it's still in the ground. Come on. Or is it playing the moment I grab it in the ground? No, that can't be it. Wait, is it? That is it. It's playing in the ground. It's playing to. But my hand isn't in the ground. Oh, but it's using object position. Got it. Okay, we've got it. We figured it out. Okay, so we're gonna need to undo a couple steps here. So click undo one time for me. Click undo a second time. Click undo another time, and remove that. Okay, so we're still instant. So it says send instant to self, no delay. Now previously we were doing the motion in this step. Let's also do the visual effects in this step. So over here, where we're doing set current position, let's do all of this down here. It's going to take a second to slide it all down, but we're going to drag each one of these down, I thought. So there we go. Set current position, move to. There is actually an easier way to do this, kind of. Don't know if I want to though. Okay, I need to move set that to the top, move that up. Oh. Okay, I need to do this the other way. Hit undo, hit undo, hit undo, hit undo, hit undo, hit undo. Okay, so the easiest way to do this is to actually go to your events tab, scroll to the top, grab an if, and then nest this into the if as quickly as you can. And I'm gonna slow. You'll get it. So anyway, we're moving this into the if because then we can move the entire if block at the same time. So we grab this whole if and drag that down into instant, and then we can slide this out of the if, just dragging them up. That was a lot easier. And now I don't have to worry about accidentally messing things up like I was doing. So there we go. Okay, now I just want to double check. When instant is received, set current position to position of self, move sound effect to current position, move play sound, move visual effect, play visual effect, move text, display text. Cool. So that should work a lot better. And Galactic's like, I want to test it. I don't want you to test it. I'm sorry, please don't. I hope you wait. Can you hear me? Oh, you can. Can you hear me? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I left and came back. Nolan, please do not do that. I do not want to pay for a new screen. This is why we don't open our windows. I'm not gonna lie, because we have cats. Oh, and it didn't work. Okay, Nolan. Yep, you're gone. Thank you. Okay. So that didn't work. When I grabbed it again, it's still in the ground. Let's try that one more time. Can't get it to even slide just a hair. Okay, so back on our script, we're going to do the same thing we did before, which was add just a slightly larger delay. So instead of sending instantly, we're going to grab send event with delay. And so this is kind of just part of the debugging process, to be honest. It's just trying different things, trying to see what is exactly happening. I mean, you could try doing a more like, say we did a 0.1 second delay, like we really made this really intense, right? We could do send with the 0.1 second delay. And if we did that, then we'd get stop and play. It probably will work with the 0.1 second delay, but I'm trying to make this as fast as possible. Oh, it didn't work with a 0.1 second delay. Never mind. So, and it still plays there. So strange. Okay, so then let's try the most outrageous. Let's try with a 1 second delay. I'm not even gonna reset the world, just okay, what is happening? Because it's force releasing so fast, it seems like it's never getting to the position of my hand. I think that's what's happening here. So the problem, Nolan, I'm closing the window. I'm sorry. Sorry, baby. Ugh. Okay. All right. We still good, stream? I'm gonna double check, just make sure I didn't lose you. Yo, we're still good. Test. Cool. All right, so let's see. When object is grabbed, we were force releasing. Let's move force release into this instant section. Change our delay back down to, I don't know, let's start with 0.1 still. And then, could have been the force release. Bizarre. So this is the type of stuff you slowly but surely learn, like by doing it. You only can learn by doing like having experience. So I mean, I've been here for 1.5 years just experimenting with the tools, and yeah. So oh, it still didn't work. Oh gosh, man. Let's try it again. Ooh, thank you, Jay Costa. Appreciate it. Like from places. Oh, it's just out of the Chicagoland region. Oh, if it's a Hawaiian pizza, pineapple is always good. Ah, thank you. Anyone tell you the frame rate is in the toilet right now? No, I didn't hear that. Thank you for that update. Appreciate that, Seeing Blue. Seems fine on my end. Let's try up and down. Oh, wow, it is pretty laggy. Let's see. Is it because my computer is overheating? Maybe? Where's my, I have this, where did I put that? Ah, it's behind the computer. I literally have this thing. I'll show you, kind of. I have this thing. It's designed to keep my computer from overheating, and you have to put your computer on it. And I placed my computer in front of it. Like, I am so smart. There we go. Sorry, my computer has a graphics card in it, and it's a laptop, which is abnormal if you're familiar with laptops. And so it's like going crazy. Now, let's see. Everything else looks good. It's probably going to cool off pretty quick after that. Does seem to already be better because it's got some air circulation, just a little bit. Let's see, trying to think if there's a way to fix it faster. All right. I think we're good. Sorry about that. Thanks, Seeing Blue, for letting me know. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's the little things you just don't notice. Okay, and I'm just kind of looking at the screen. Yeah, I think it'll be better. I'll double check here in a minute just to make sure that the fans are working well. Okay, here we go. So again, okay, so we thought force release could be the problem. Putting it after 0.1 seconds still didn't work. And so what if we do that crazy 1 second delay we were talking about? Like just really dramatic. Sometimes you just got to try very dramatic changes to figure out what is going to fix it. And so that's what we're trying. Hey, so that worked. So having a longer delay does work. It's painful though. It's like I don't want it to be that long. So, you know, it's got to be fun. So let's try 0.2 seconds, see if that gets us closer. It's so slow because there's server lag. But even then it was still in the ground. I think we might just need to do something creative. You know, I like the idea here, but I just think we need to do something better. Like I've got a really good idea. Okay. We have done a lot of playing around. I mean, an absolute lot of playing around here. And it looks like it's still framey choppy, isn't it? Darn, this is so strange. Oh, I think the computer seems to be doing fine. It's still pretty hot. Yeah, it's still pretty hot. But I don't think that's the problem, actually. I'm thinking, don't know. Let's let go of that. Is that better? Interact. Full screen off. Oh, and I can't full screen again. Is there Command F? Control F? No. Okay, I'm gonna have to do that manually. It's not seeming to fix it. I'm gonna try something else real quick. I'm gonna try just reloading this casting. So Galactic, you're not gonna be able to hear me in a second. So I'm gonna stop casting. Okay, so we're back. That looks a lot better. Ooh, no, it's not. Darn, that didn't fix it. Just when I thought we were good. 1080. Press OK. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna go turn my video capture off. Going to scaling this nice and big. I remember it being super scaled. I'm not sure why it's not anymore. Okay. Turn the logo off. Hey guys, I'm really sorry about the quality there coming in. Good question about the Spring. I haven't been able to figure out Spring. I do need to talk to an expert before we can update the PDF. I don't have anything to say about when the next PDFs are coming out. It's officially up to Meta, sort of, but I also have to produce them and we haven't even started, so I do apologize. But I really can't say anything until it's officially announced. But we do intend this year to have multiple releases of the PDF rather than, you know, in previous years where it was like once per year or every other year. So very excited to get multiple out this year, but it probably will be, can't say anything. Sorry, I have to stop talking there. But thank you for asking, and you'll be able to see it. I'll post it here on the community group page as well as on our Facebook and here on the YouTube as well. So look forward to that. Now, in terms of this lag, I'm really sorry. We're going to continue scripting, and I guess you're going to have to maybe pause frames here and there. I do apologize. I'm not really sure what to do about it. You said my video is really the problem. Wonder, the casting, is the headset over here? The headset seems relatively fine compared to where it's been. We've done 5-hour streams before without problems, so I'm really not sure. How about this, you guys? I am sorry, but I'm going to go ahead and restart the headset real quick. It's going to take a second, but as soon as that's done, we'll see if that works. So feel free to hang with us here for a minute, and then we'll be right back. Thank you guys for your patience. I really do want to try and get this solved for us. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and stop casting. Okay, you can hear me from my computer's desktop. Sorry about that, guys. I'm just gonna let the thing sit here. When you power down, there's like a RAM cycle in here, and so I'm letting it wait like 30 to 60 seconds before starting it back up. My hair's all over the place. That's whatever. VR hair, and it's weird because I'm in a mirrored version of myself, so the way I'm looking at it is different than what I usually see myself in a mirror. So it's like weird. Also, like the continued look of me is hysterical. Here we go. Whoa! 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 The real reason we don't have mirrors in Horizon is because people would do this. They'd be like, yes! 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 Anyway, so I think that's just about time. I'm really excited to get back into this. We're like this close. I'm thinking we're going to be done in about half an hour with this script. I mean, the last things we need to do are so small, and we've pretty much solved the bug. Like okay, so the solution is, remember the bug is that it's not arriving in front of the person, right? It's like, ugh, I want it to be in front of me, and it's not. So, solution is pop up in front of the player for, I don't know, half a second, 1 second, something really small. My messenger's going off. People in the stream being like, oh, never mind. We're good. No. So, let's see. Yeah, we are still streaming. Everything's still going out good. The problem is we've got, let's see. Sorry, I'm just trying to remember. The visual effect and sound effect are not arriving in the player's hand. What if that doesn't matter? Where it was fine. The problem was we couldn't see the text. So I'm thinking, okay, it poofs right where you grabbed it from. That's fine. Maybe we'll even make the poof bigger. That little like circle that expands. No, I don't think you can change the size of that actually. We'll try. And so then, let's see. We'll do that. And then we use a pop-up instead of text, which requires one less text gizmo, so that's nice. And it's per player, which means you don't have to worry about teleporting it around. As much as I really liked that mechanic in the first version, I think this will look a little sleeker. I don't like pop-ups though, to be honest. I'm kind of like, I'm not a huge fan of them, so. There's a way to move the pop-up so it's like small and in the center, bottom like center, so it's not in front of the user, not in front of your face, because you want to like watch, and like that pop-up should be kind of like, when I play Beat Saber, right? All the numbers are there, but I'm never looking at them because I'm so focused. I'm like, ah. I'm not sure how you guys play Beat Saber, but that's how I play Beat Saber. So I'm thinking they can be there for you to look at if you want to just get a quick glance at where you've leveled up to, but it's not really important, right? So I think that's the idea. It's kind of like a HUD almost. There we go. New meta logo. You guys have probably seen that. JT might be watching. He hasn't seen that. Oh, look at that. That looks so gross. I'm so sorry. My sweaty forehead. There you go. Take a look. Much cleaner now. Maybe. Meta logo's gone. All right, we're heading in. Oh, I'm so looking forward to pizza. Whew, what are you guys having for dinner? I'd love to know. And I'm going to go run over to the comments for a second. Let's see what you guys are saying. Comments thread, which actually you can see my screen. So we're going back into the corner. No worries. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Headset hair. I am rocking the headset hair. Gummy bears. So what's your day job, Vidyuu? Those pop-ups are so annoying in the voice change dialogue. Ugh, I know, right? And that's why I don't know. We're going to try it. If I don't like it, we're not going to do it. I'm going to be completely honest. If I don't like it, we're just not doing it. So it's that. It's that simple, right? It's like, if it's annoying, I don't like the voice dialogue either, you know? It's just, it is annoying. I just want an option to be like, I don't need voice dialogues. Or like, is there one that we can do that's just really subtle? Can we do like a subtle voice dialogue just in the bottom right where it's like, oh yeah, my voice just changed. That's good to know. I kind of expected that because I've done this before, you know? I would just love oh, don't hit the button. Okay, so I hit cast, and then the way this new thing works is I cast to the computer, click next, and then I have to set it up over here. So while I'm setting this up, at some point you're gonna hear double of me, so I should, okay, you're just not gonna hear me for a second. One moment. Okay, and delete, press C. Whoa, we're back. Yeah, so very excited to be back. Go ahead and click escape here. Looking Gucci. Let's go ahead and drag that around. Don't have a scale tool. Let's scale it just a little bigger and back in place. Fantastic. Not sure where straight on is. That's straight on. That should be about good. Okay. Cool beans. I'm so happy to be back in, and it looks like it's pretty good. And maybe this is just the home space. Maybe it's like a Horizon Worlds is getting me or something. I'm not really sure, to be honest. Cool. I'm so glad to be back. Whew. I really am. Thank you guys for hanging around. Appreciate it. And engaging. You guys are fantastic. Make this so much fun. Smooth at the moment. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Seeing Blue, I'm going to keep checking for your comments. So definitely comment if something goes bad. I will appreciate that very much. And Galactic, you probably are still there. So we're heading back in. It looks like we did lose most of the people, but for anybody who did hang out, thank you very much. Really appreciate you guys. And it's definitely you, Seeing Blue, helping us get this sorted. I'm actually frozen on a frame here, so I'm not sure if, I'm sure that's what's coming through. Let's see. Yeah. So let's see. Do I just close Horizon and try again? Quit. The classic. There we go. Entering Horizon. Are we though? Are we really though? Also, anybody watching? We are 2 hours in, something crazy like that. I know the first hour was just kind of hang out, but seriously, if you've been watching, oh hi, feel free to pause, come back later. I do not blame you in the slightest. And yeah, like I'm pretty worn out at this point. I'm looking forward to pizza, but I also know I'm just like 3 or 4 lines of code from being where I want to be. So let's do it. Yes. Train Destiny just got updated. What's going on in Train Destiny? Woo. And we're off to the races. Things seem to be really smooth. Just double checking. Yep. Nice. Oh, we're so back. We're backing at it. Thank you guys. Sorry that it wasn't so great before. Hopefully you were still able to follow through. Try blowing into the cartridge. Oh, that's so funny. All right. Welcome back. Okay. So, hey, Galactic's still here. Can you hear me? Yeah? Sweet. Okay. Flower picker, and it works. It's, you know, delayed. I don't like the delay. I really don't like the delay. So the answer is, and it doesn't even always work. And it doesn't even always work. Okay, so we're gonna go script, stop script. We're gonna delete the text object. We're gonna try scaling up this to see if it makes it bigger. I'm gonna just quickly test it out. I said quickly test it out, hit play. And grab. Yo, that was nice. That felt really good. Okay, stop the world for a second. Now I want to start organizing my stuff here. So I'm going to grab this one, grab this audio cube, make it a little bit bigger so it's kind of relative in size. Then I want to grab our script block over here, put this on top of the stack because it's all related. I'm just really trying to keep all my stuff sorted. And now we're going to go back into our script. And if you're just joining us, feel free to, you know, watch from the beginning. Replay should be on, and then we're going to have this published later, so you're welcome to come back and check it out later. Right now, we're building this flower picking mechanic with leaderboard values. It's going to be pretty cool. So we've got this set up in such a way that I like it a lot better. And since instant really, no, we got to move this back up. So this is going to be a bit of work, but we're going to drag all of these code blocks back up. So it's going to take a second. We are just moving these up. Relatively easy. Boom. Okay. So we don't need to move text because we don't use text anymore. So we're going to delete displaying text. We can actually delete the text object from the variables tab since we're not using it anymore. We're going to bring motion up. So this is all going above the coloring section. So this goes here, then rotate and scale, and then we can delete instant and delete instant. So normally when I'm like recording a video that's edited, we would delete all that, pretend it never happened, and you'd never know that we went through all this. But you know, I think it is important to see kind of this debugging process, and appreciate you guys kind of hanging in there. I hope it wasn't too painful, but this is really truly part of the process of learning and how we figure out what to do and how to fix things. And so what we were doing was setting current position to position of self. That should still work. It's going to be wherever it was at, not where it's like going to your hand. And I'm okay with that. Now we're setting the color and we're playing the visual effect, but what we wanted to try doing was displaying a pop-up. So under actions, at the bottom, there is pop-ups. And there's show pop-up, simple pop-up, or show pop-up. So we're going to grab the regular show pop-up, put this above color. And the text is going to be, for now, we're just going to place in a +1, just a kind of a simple thing for someone to see. The player is the player who grabbed, so we can drag that down. And so that was the player pill from up here in the event. So it was received with a player pill parameter. We're displaying +1 for, I don't know, 0.5 seconds. I just want this really fast. 0.5 seconds with position. This is important in font size. We're going to take the font size down to 1. I want this to be really small. The coloring is fine for now. Play sound, no, we don't want a sound. Show timer, no. With position, and now we want to move this down. So we're going to take this and go -0.5. So this should be below the player's sight line. So I guess we're going to just go ahead and try this out. So I'm going to hit reset and play. Very play, maybe? There we go. Okay, so now we grab this. Released. I didn't see the pop-up actually. Was it just so small I couldn't see it? So fast I didn't see it? Oh, yeah, it just immediately closed. Okay, so we're gonna go change our pop-up length to 1.5 seconds. 1.5 seconds. Theoretically, that should be a lot better. Oh, look at that, +1. Super tiny. And that actually felt like it happened right from where the flower was. That wasn't even bad, actually. Seeing blue. I got a question if you like that or not, because I thought that was pretty decent because it's almost in the position of the flower. Like, it's kind of nice. So I'm curious if you like that. I want the text a little bit bigger. Let's see what else you have to say. Just want to double sure we're still streaming. Okay. Try blocking the card. Yay. Question for you. I tried disabling effects on a trail gizmo before moving it by script, and it trailed during the move. Not sure why. Oh, stream is back to lagging. No, that is so sad. I'm so sorry. That stinks. Yeah, I've had some trails do that too. I'm not sure what the right answer is to that. I think it's just kind of test and guess and check, right? You know, you're gonna figure out if it disable it, try teleporting it, disable it before you teleport, add a half-second delay before teleporting it. I mean, if you're making things really fast, that's going to be even harder. So I'm not really sure. I would ask Hyperjewel or Janimator, since they've made quite a few awesome drawing mechanics. But yeah. Okay. So what I want to do is head on over here. And hey, Galactic Tori, you can hear me, right? So I want to ask you to do something. I'm really sorry to ask this of you, but would you mind trying to go to your personal space for a little bit? I want to see if by some oddity having you here is causing some lag. And I mean, no, I don't mean anything mean by it. I just want to see if that might be part of the issue.
You got
Okay.
it. No worries. I was wondering if it was me as well.
Well, thank you for trying it out. We'll see if that fixes it. And hopefully that does. If not, then great, come back. So sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what we wanted to do on our pop-up was go change the font size. I'm pretty happy with this, honestly. I'm gonna go change it to a font size of 2, see what that looks like. I don't want the pop-up to be very big, but yeah, I like that. I wish there was a way to change the bezels, because it's pretty big, right? It's like, but I think you can make it invisible. Wait, you can just make it invisible, right? No, you can't. Never mind. You can make the text invisible, but the background has to be solid. Darn. That's okay. Okay, anyway, so we got the pop-up. It works. It's nice. So we've got our text, we've got our visual effect, our sound effect. We're happy with it. So that's, half the battle there. Now, what we want to set up is our top pickers and our top pickers for the session. And so we're going to create a couple things for that. Now, the first thing we want to do is see if our stream has improved. Okay, and it is laggy, laggy, laggy. And I don't really know what to do about that. So I guess I'll just hold my head still when we're doing something really important, and hopefully the audio drives the conversation, because we really only need to do 2 things, like really 2 things for this. Okay, so here we are back in Flower 1.0. What we need to do is inside of when object is grabbed by player, we need to define the amount that we're increasing. So we're going to head to our variables tab, and under variables, we're going to create a new variable, which will be a number variable called points, or yeah, we'll call it points. Confirm points will start at a default of 1. So I'll go ahead and put that in there. Now, what we do need to do really quickly while we're thinking about it is under our pop-up, we need to add this plus symbol. And so this text we were using before, we're going to replace it with the plus, and we're going to concatenate 2 strings together. So we're going to grab a string input, put this into the left side, which will be the plus symbol that we had used previously. And then the mount goes on the right side. And so from values, there's a variable as string. We're going to convert the number variable into a string variable. And then we can grab our variable points and drag that and drop that into string. So now it'll say +1. And if it ever becomes worth 2, it becomes +2. So that should be pretty cool. Now we've got show pop-up for player with plus points. Nice. Now up here, when object is grabbed by player, we need to add points for them. And so we're going to need a new number variable called current score. We'll click confirm. And we're going to start by grabbing set2, putting this at the top of when object is grabbed. And then we're going to grab our current score, put that onto the left side. And what is it going to be? It's going to be another plus symbol. So operators grab a plus. And then on the right side, we're going to put that current, or points goes into the B slot. So we're going to put points here into the B. And the A on your values tab, you have get player persistent variable. So we're going to go ahead and grab get player persistent variable, put this into the A slot. And the persistent variable we're grabbing is flowers picked. And that's for players. We're going to drag player pill down. And so now we've set current score to be the current flowers picked for that player plus the number of points. And so it'll be +1. So I guess at some point there might be a flower worth more than 1 flower. That'll be interesting to kind of experiment with. But for now, I think this is great. Now what we need to do is use that current score we just set up. And so on our values tab, you have set player persistent variable and set world leaderboard score. So we're going to go ahead and grab set player persistent variable, and we're going to grab set world leaderboard score, filling out the 2 player pills with the player pill from above, and then replacing the 2 number variables with current score variable. So drop that in. And then from the drop down of change me, we can select those player persistent variables we created at the very beginning of the stream. So we have flowers picked, and we have flowers picked. Perfect. So those have been filled out. Remember, you can create those from the settings page under leaderboards and player. Okie doke. So we've got this set up. Great stuff. We're not forcing it. Forcing it means it overrides no matter what. But since the score should only be going up, we don't need to because it'll automatically go up because it's higher. And then the next thing we need to do is say the exact same thing, but not with current score. We want to do a new number variable called current session. So we're creating a number variable called current session. And we're going to duplicate this. All three of these lines are going to get duplicated. The biggest difference is we're bringing down the current session number variable to replace the current score in those 3 spots. And the last thing we're going to do is from the drop-down, select current session. Perfect. So now we have set this up so it adds 1 to the player's flowers picked and 1 to the flowers for the session. We are done. That's it. You've done it. The only thing we need to do now is create a player controller, which sounds pretty scary, but I promise it's not. So we're going to grab build tool, pull out a pyramid. This is going to be our controller. We're going to need to go to our gizmos tab, pull out a script. And the script is basically, we need the pyramid to hold this script. So the pyramid is simply holding this script so that it can do a bunch of things. And so this is going to be called player manager. And we'll probably do a lot more with this later, but for now, we're going to say when player enters world. So when player enters world, we're dragging that over. We're also dragging over when player exits world. And then on our values tab, we're grabbing set world leaderboard score for player, duplicate that into both slots, dragging the player pill down. And this is for the session. Okay, so we've set the world leaderboard session to be 0, and we're going to click force, so that way it does update no matter what. And this resets the session score back to 0. And then we're also going to grab set player persistent variable. This is going to be the exact same thing, so we're going to drop down session, make sure it's 0, put player in there, and duplicate that. Excuse me. And duplicate that into when exit world is exited by player. And so now the player will never have a session score when they are not there. This means it'll only be for that session, which is really important because remember what we talked about at the beginning, we want to make sure that people are having fun. And they don't have fun with global leaderboards. They have fun with session leaderboards when they can see how they're competing against their friends who are there. And so if we open up the properties panel of this pyramid, we can now attach the player manager script because we just finished that. So there's our player manager. And we're going to make sure this is set to none because it does not need to be animated. In fact, it doesn't need to be visible or collidable. So we're going to do all of that. And then we select this and place it on top of our player manager there. And then I'm going to slide it back in line with our flower over here and just slide it over. Okay, so there is our player manager and our flower 1.0. And if I've done this correctly, I'll hit stop, reset, and play. And I kind of want to duplicate a few more flowers before we get started. Doop, doop, and then slide. So we're going to have 9 flowers to see what it's like kind of as you get the game going. So then dupe, slide, and array tool. There we go. And we've played the world already, so here it goes. Grabbing all of them. Nice. And you can see the plus just appears. This is way too far away. Oh, it came up sideways. That's probably because I didn't reset the world, actually. So definitely want to hit stop and play. And you'll notice, if you look here, my session is set to 0 because I left the world by going into build mode. And my pickers, so I got 13 on my global rank. So that's great. Now we're going to come back in here and try it again. Okay. Woo. Give me all the points. There we go. And they're regrowing. They're all growing correctly. Nice. A little bit of overlap, but it's not bad, honestly. That's looking really good. So there we go. I know there's a little bit of lag. I'm so sorry about that. I will try to solve that for the next one. I'm not really sure what the solution is, but I'll work on it. And just really appreciate you guys coming out, hanging out. And I'm going to go eat some pizza. So I could hear D in my head talking about pizza. So that's why I'm laughing. But thank you guys so much for coming, hanging out. Galactic, feel free to stop by and we can, I know you're probably still watching, so feel free to come right back. I'll help you finish this up for you, answer any questions you got. And you guys, if you have any questions as you're watching this, especially if something cut out during the stream, please be sure to Oh, it looks like it actually got a little cleaner. Maybe, hard to tell. But yeah, you can see. What? Wait, what? It says 52. Why does it say 53? What? I did something wrong in my script, so let's go fix that. Okay, so under flower, glad we caught this. I forgot to change this one out. So this one's using flowers picked, not session flowers. So there we go. So now when I rejoin, it should fix itself. And I do need to grab all of these, just try it out quickly. And we should see 57, 59, 60. There we go, fixed it. Okay, cool. So basically I just forgot to update the player persistent variable in that one line. So just making sure that those three were correlated to the same player persistent variable, same with the ones above. Sweet. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, please be sure to leave them in the comments. Happy to answer them, especially after the fact. If something got cut out or you missed something, please let me know. There's also a really good scoreboard tutorial that will teach this exact same concept. It's player scores, ordered scores maybe. Anyway, it teaches this basic concept at the very beginning. Not as intense with the, like what we did with this flower is absolutely incredible. So I'm glad it was working for the first couple hours. But yeah, again, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, make sure to comment if you like this format of content and it's helping you out. And we will see you in Horizon. Bye. Okay, I might actually just hang for a quick second, answer some questions in the comments if there's any. And let's see. Awesome, sweet, that was a blast. Thank you. Okay, cool. Question for you. I tried to. Okay, we already went through that. Sweet. Yeah, sorry about the lag, you guys. Appreciate you hanging out though. Bye for reals.